And the guy you need to watch out for at some point would be Sol-Jay Maiava-Peters, number 30, one of the running backs, a former BYU quarterback who saw some Wildcat action in the last game and can be used to kind of take some of those hits off Dampier while still providing them that dual threat at quarterback.
There goes Javen Jacobs, motioning back across the formation and taking that handoff. A stiff arm for a first down. It'll be first and goal just above the 6. So the Lobos answering a 17-play scoring drive from Air Force with now what will be a 12-play drive of their own.
And you see the read right here. So the same play that they got before where Dampier takes it up the middle now uses his threat of run to keep the defender's eyes up there and allow them to get to the edge.
Dampier brings a man in motion, fakes that handoff, follows his blocks. Into the end zone. Bouncing off first contact. Dampier does it all. His 7th rushing touchdown of the season.
And we mentioned the Lobos and their play caller, Jason Beck, certainly not afraid to spam plays on that drive. And quarterback counter was on the menu early and often. That jet motion getting defenders out of the box. And then just the toughness from Dampier at the end of this. Only listed at 5'10", 198, but put the shoulder down, got the extra yards for Pater.
Now with Trace Bruckler, his tight end, leading the way, and Luke Driswicki tacks on the extra point. So Air Force grabs a field goal, and the Lobos answer with a QB run for a touchdown.
These are the moments that make up the story of your life. But as you get older, your risk of missing those moments because of severe flu, COVID-19, or RSV increases. Vaccines help you avoid that. So get this season's vaccines, because your presence makes all the difference. Risk less, do more. Get started at vaccines.gov.
What you looking at, babe?
Cars on cars.com.
What's wrong with this one?
I just got promoted, so I'm looking for something more. Ciao.
Ciao.
2 million cars for 2 million possibilities. Cars.com. Where to next?
The future is threatened by enemies often unpredictable. When there are battles to win for America's future, there is one constant: Marines.
The world ain't set up for the honest man to succeed. America's a hustle. It'll eat you alive if you let it. Not that I'm complaining.
The Penguin, streaming exclusively on Max.
Look at that! That's a doorway!
Wednesday.
This is an opening!
Petra's secrets.
Here we go!
Will be revealed.
Oh my god!
New Expedition Unknown. Wednesday at 9 on Discovery.
We are back. Happy Hockey New Year.
You may want to buckle up.
Come on, guys! Yeah, baby! Here we go!
Oh, what a holy jumping.
Wow! You talk about a guy that's feeling it right now.
Get back out of here! Hey! That's playing fast!
Lots of talking here tonight.
You talk about awesomeness? It's right here, folks.
This place is going to explode.
NHL on TNT.
I'm jazzed up, ready to go.
Mountain West football on True TV continues next week as New Mexico travels to Utah State to take on the Aggies. Coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern on True TV and Max. So Lobos fans and Mountain West football fans, we'll see you again next week. Dampier with a 7-yard run, one of his 3 carries on that drive, had gains of 10 yards, 8 yards, and the 7-yard touchdown at the end of the first quarter. Falcons have not had a kick return all season. There's a fair catch, what gives Mike Golick Jr. a chance to run through the triple option.
It's all about putting defenders in conflict, and it starts with the dive. The first option of the 3, often the most dangerous. From there, the quarterback reading that end man and then trying to use his speed to threaten the edge. And then when all else fails and that's covered down, you've got the pitch as the third leg of that option. Air Force on that first drive wasn't a lot of clever window dressing. It was running the basics to perfection, and that for Quentin Hayes a huge boost during his first start of the season.
Back at the controls with Dylan Carson part of his backfield. And the first man through is Carson to the 29. This is a program that has finished first or second in college football in rushing each of the past 5 seasons. So far through 5 games, they've not upheld that standard, but definitely forward progress here through 1 quarter in Albuquerque.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Alrighty. Who's ready for my famous charred duck?
Like, you know, to check the mascot first before bringing food to a tailgate.
Took this baby.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
I have a surprise for you.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah. Feast your eyes on this.
Oh, that's sexy. Feels so new.
I want to feel this feeling again and again.
Can I hold it?
How bad do you want to hold it?
I'm not gonna beg, but pretty please.
Irvy, don't. Go ahead, press a button.
Oh, it's glowing.
Apple Intelligence. We should do this more often.
Agreed.
Rekindle the feeling of love with the new iPhone 16 Pro on us. And feel it again and again with the latest iPhone every year with AT&T Next Up Anytime.
Dan made progress with his mental health, but his medication caused unintentional movements in his face, hands, and feet called tardive dyskinesia, or TD. So his doctor prescribed Austedo XR, a once-daily extended-release TD treatment for adults. Austedo XR significantly reduced Dan's TD movements. Some people saw a response as early as 2 weeks. With Austedo XR, Dan can stay on his mental health meds. Cool hair.
Austedo XR can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Pay close attention to and call your doctor if you become depressed, have sudden changes in mood, or have suicidal thoughts. Don't take if you have liver problems, are taking reserpine, tetrabenazine, or valbenazine. Austedo XR may cause irregular or fast heartbeat or abnormal movements. Seek help for fever, stiff muscles, problems thinking, or sweating. Common side effects include inflammation of the nose and throat, insomnia, and sleepiness.
Ask your doctor for Austedo XR.
Time out!
Listen up, get tight.
This is the most important timeout I've ever called.
Things are getting out of control out there.
And we need to regroup.
Hate.
Hate is winning out there.
Not on these fields.
In our communities. On our streets. In our schools.
And we need to stop it.
So let's take this moment
To change the momentum.
and call a timeout.
On hate. Together.
Together.
Welcome back to New Mexico. The Lobos up 7-3 over the Falcons. I just caught up with Air Force head coach Troy Calhoun, and I asked him about quarterback Quentin Hayes and how he liked the way that he played in that first series. He goes, well, there's a lot of football still to be played. They only played 1 series, but I like the way that he was playing. As for New Mexico, I said, all right, Devin Dampier as a dual threat quarterback, how do you slow him down defensively? He said, yeah, they've got a lot of good guys. Thankfully, they've only really got 1 guy that they go to in the running back position, but for Dampier, we have to be sound on all of our marks.
All right, thank you, Bridget. We begin the second quarter.
Full start, number 13 offense. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
With a penalty on the Falcons, who have won 5 straight in this series, including back-to-back games in Albuquerque. But as we've documented, new leadership here in New Mexico. And Calhoun and Mendenhall go way back, of course, in their Mountain West days. Hayes back to work. A little flip to the perimeter, and it's cut down for a loss. Bobby Arnold III's been tackling everything that moves.
This one, too. Great block destruction at the second level. And this is what we talk about, not being able to cut on that second level, affecting Air Force. Now, you see, Bobby Arnold can run with reckless abandon. He doesn't have to worry about protecting his knees. And so he goes, works through contact, and makes a great play.
Hayes drops back to throw. And now takes off. He's sacked. The Lobos get off the grass on defense. Moso Tuitele.
And this just putting Air Force in an uncomfortable position. You see left tackle Alex Moore just not used to holding up for this long. Gets threatened upfield. Quentin Hayes uncomfortable in the pocket. And a great job by the defense closing the net, feeling the quarterback working up and working back underneath the block after he got the left tackle off balance.
Luke Freer to punt. Last week had a career best 4 punts of at least 50 yards. Here comes Wysong. Good blocks initially. No flag down. There he goes. Luke Wysong back to the outside with the convoy. Touchdown, New Mexico. 79 yards.
And you mentioned it, JB, we're almost wired to look for the flags on these plays, but a great job by this New Mexico punt coverage unit of just staying attached to their guys, but not going too far, resisting the urge to go and make the big hit, make that big shot that usually will get you flagged in modern college football. And then what a great cutback by Luke Wysong. Get behind the convoy and finding his way to a big special team score for this New Mexico squad.
Luke Drizwicki on for the extra point. They did miss one last week, make it 2 weeks ago in that in-state rivalry, but so far so good here. 2 touchdowns, one a rushing score by the quarterback, the other Wysong's second career punt return for a touchdown.
When you're a small business owner, your to-do list can be a lot.
Super helpful.
What are invoices?
Progressive makes it easy to see if you can save money with a commercial auto quote online, so you can get back to all your other to-dos.
Absolutely not.
Get a quote at progressivecommercial.com.
Can't choose between watching your favorite Mountain West team on TV or going everywhere else you need to be? With the official Mountain West app, you don't have to. Watch hundreds of Mountain West games and championship events, live or archived, from wherever you are, all for free with the Mountain West app. Available on mobile and connected TV devices. Download the Mountain West app today.
Hey, ladies, need a ride? There's room on my mom's lap.
Are we doing this?
Hell yeah, we're doing this.
Take off!
Stop!
American Dad, all new October 28th on TBS.
They used to tell us stories about this place.
You have no idea what you're getting yourself into here.
Salem's Lot, streaming exclusively on Max.
Mountain West football on True TV is brought to you by Wendy's. Any size soft drinks for $1. Back in Albuquerque in almost exactly 3 years to the day from Luke Wysong's first career punt return against Colorado State in 2021. He's done it again against Air Force to make it a 2-score lead for the Lobos. It's a touchback as he salutes the crowd. We had a chance to mention his family connection to this university, Mike, a little bit earlier. How about some moving pictures for you?
Get a little bit of love for mom and dad here. Beth and Adam, stars in the football and volleyball teams, respectfully. The old volleyball fit with the collar. A flex. Proud family that certainly loves this school, though. Mentioned his brother on the team as well. And just an incredible playmaker for this offense that now got Air Force a bit in the danger zone.
Quentin Hayes at quarterback with 3 Lobos in pursuit. Knocked out with a gain of a couple. Randolph Kapai spent the previous 3 years at Nebraska, now a linebacker with the Lobos.
4 tackles in that win over New Mexico State. Great job tracking the quarterback from the inside out. as they take away that dive initially now. And I mentioned the danger zone for Air Force on this drive because being down multiple scores, we saw on that end of last drive when they've got to drop back and pass, they're uncomfortable. It's not what they rep consistently. And so having to go to the well on that if you're down multiple scores is a great way for New Mexico to really get going on defense.
Head coach Troy Calhoun looking on from his sideline. Hayes reverses field, and he breaks into the open. There's a chunk play for Quentin Hayes. His longest run. Christian Ellis ends it in Lobo territory.
Reverses out here, but you've always got to follow the lineman on this offense. And just like we saw QB power on the other side, QB counter here with both the guard and tackle pulling from that left to right side. And so many eyes on the back end of that defense going with the guys in the backfield, following the motion. Part of reading your keys is usually following the big fellas up front to find you to the promised land.
Trevor Tates, a reserve lineman, leading the way there. Just as the back. And he's the first man through. Lowers his shoulder inside the 40. And now churning for a few more. Let's go down to the sideline and check in with Bridget.
Yeah, guys, Coach Calhoun told us getting Quentin Hayes in against Navy was really big. He has really good energy, ton of leadership ability, good maturity, poise, and presence, according to Calhoun. But although it was his first shot at extensive action on the field, junior center Costin Cooley said Hayes came into the huddle with a lot of energy. You could see the confidence he had, saying he definitely added a little juice. It was exactly what they needed.
That's good contact, Bridget. Thank you very much. It's a few minutes into our second quarter. Looking to answer the punt return touchdown from New Mexico. Already in plus territory. Could be enough for a first down there in the arms of Gist. You know, the other thing Calhoun said is something I don't think I've heard a college football coach say ever, certainly not this year, which is we look forward to seeing where Quentin Hayes is in 2 years in the fall of 2026. Who in the college football universe besides Air Force is thinking ahead to 2026? That's the luxury long lens that they have.
I was going to say it's a different world that they operate in. No NIL money here, not able to use the transfer portal, getting guys for those 4 years and allowing them time to develop.
A short yardage situation, and Hayes moves the chains.
Great job there finding the soft spot on that QB sneak. You see a lot of these quarterbacks under center back up a little bit and then find that void, and he sees all that push on the right side, gets in behind his big fellas who've really taken over on this drive. And you've seen a couple of more varied backfield sets, a little bit more misdirection in the backfield. The first successful Air Force drive was a lot of the base staple triple option stuff that they ran well. Now we're seeing the counter punch away from that to try and get this Lobos defense back on their heels.
Play clock at 8 as Hayes is ready. He's got it and flips it out to the perimeter, and Cade Harris. Another positive gain. I know you've watched a lot of film on these Falcons. To my eye, they seem to be getting more knockoff up front than they're used to.
100%. It's been great push, penetrating, finding a way to impact that group up front on defense, and it allows their quarterback to get to the edge quicker. Anytime you hear people talk about shortening the edge, defending the edge, you're just basically trying to compress that side of the line of scrimmage. So when your offensive line's moving them upfield, it's a shorter distance from the quarterback from the snap to the edge of that defense, and it allows him to get those guys off balance.
Dylan Carson takes a turn behind his quarterback and takes the handoff over the right side. Found it interesting that Nick Howell, defensive coordinator, talked about the preparation for an academy, but also the lasting effect, like how quickly can you rebound for next week's game. But if there is a silver lining to all the work they put in, it's that the fundamentals, the gap integrity, that carries all the way down your schedule on defense.
There's no doubt. It forces you to get back to the basics, the stuff that you drill in the offseason and in training camp, because this New Mexico defense, you watch them for the rest of the season, they're bringing secondary pressures. They're firing guys at the quarterback all the time. You've got to do a lot less to accomplish a lot more on defense against this Air Force team.
Whistles before first down.
The ruling on the field is the runner made the line to gain. The previous play is under further review.
Michael Catone, our referee. And look, this Lobos defense, they're not looking for lockdown performances. They realize they have a long way to go, but they also realize that complementary football, given the quarterback and the offense and what they're producing, that's going to be enough to win most weeks in this league.
Absolutely. They want to give their best playmaker opportunities to make plays. As we get look at Dylan Carson here, getting up inside. He's got that ball in his right hand, and based on what we saw with forward progress there, it's not a perfect angle, but it looks like he was short. I think there might be a pretty good chance that this is reversed and we get a fourth down after that run. A good job bowing up again. Randolph Kapai, who had one of the earlier tackles on that play. Let's take a look at this other one. Yeah, it looked like he got stopped just short. Good job by the puller getting up inside and creating a hole there. Just tough from that depth to get a lot of momentum going if you're Dylan Carson and drag that pile too much.
Number 11 there is Josh Johnson, the other member of that quarterback room. We've mentioned Boucher, Hayes playing, of course, and maybe we'll see Johnson at some point tonight. His coaching staff expects all three quarterbacks to continue to impact results and to get opportunities down the schedule. Again, the call on the field is a first down. That Carson did catch the line to gain. So that's what has to be overcome here by our replay officials.
Indisputable video evidence is the term we always hear, and I think in this case, they have it from that angle. You saw, I think it looked like Bryce Santana as that second tackler that came in as Dylan Carson was turning to stop, and I think looked just short. Now, for Air Force, that just means you go back out and load it up again. It's probably not all that dissimilar from the play you were going to run on 1st and 10 as a staple of this offense. We've also seen them go quarterback sneak on a bunch of short, critical downs and distances. So they're built for this either way, but every stop you can get like this, if you're New Mexico, gives you a chance.
One more look for you at home, and sometimes they take a little bit longer if they are going to overturn the ruling on the field so that they make sure they have the new spot of the ball, the time, the down and distance correct. I'm not saying that that's necessarily what's happening here, but if there is housekeeping to be done with an overturn, that might be the case.
It does seem pretty clear and obvious. It'd be nice if they moved it along a little bit. Just saying.
How about this aerial view of Albuquerque? 5,300 feet of elevation. We started about 85 degrees. The moon in the distance. Air traffic control in the distance.
Oh, after further review, the runner was short of the line to gain. It will be 3rd down.
Golic had it all the way.
3rd and short. Misspoke earlier, so they'll get a 3rd down look at this one where, again, we haven't seen them at any point in rhythm go in the passing game. It was desperation on a 3rd and long before. 3rd and short with how well this offense operates, being able to get that 1 yard if necessary on 4th down could be an interesting spot to try and find Cade Harris, who's been your do-it-all weapon at slot back so far this year.
All 12 Mountain West programs in action here in Week 7. 5 conference games, including this one between Air Force and New Mexico. Hayes forced to snap it again on 3rd down. And with that surge, the Falcons think they've got it.
We call those efficient runs in the offensive line room, JB, because, again, Quentin Hayes been pretty upright on a lot of these quarterback sneaks. You see him even the stance there. Not much bend in the knees. He's getting behind that group, but he doesn't have a great base to go and make any sort of push. So if they're getting over by the nose of the football right now. It moves the chains. It doesn't look pretty on the stat sheet, but
initially there was a fist in the air to signify 4th down, but I do believe they'll bring the chains out next to give Calhoun a sense of just how much there is to go.
Yeah, it looks right on the nose there, so they're going to check this one out. It's the toughest contested yard we've seen all day. Everyone getting their look at it. Chain crew, video review.
This Air Force team last in scoring offense, barely 11 points per game, last in passing yards, 3rd from the bottom in college football in total offense, in large part because they've not been able to have the traction through their rushing attack that they've become accustomed to. It is going to be a 1st down, and this has been a big step forward here in Albuquerque through 2 quarters.
You mentioned that, JB. It affects the defense, too. We've talked about the production. Air Force, in terms of total defense in the last few years, been one of the best teams in college football, but we know you're working with a different deck than everybody else because your offense can take the air out of the ball so much in these games, and so when they're not accomplishing that 58th in rush yards in college football this year, a far cry from what they're used to, it changes the workload for the defensive side of the ball.
2 backs behind Quentin Hayes. This will be the 9th play of the drive. Looking to answer the punt return touchdown from the Lobos. Hayes has got the corner and a lead blocker. Tiptoes the sideline down near the 10 before Noah Paula Gates angled him out.
Another reverse action here, and then following the offensive lineman. Look at the big fella get 2 on the perimeter. Blocks the defensive end, gets past contact there, and then feels his quarterback right up that backside.
First and goal for Air Force. Terrence Gist in the game as the back. Latham, one of the wings. Harris, the other. There goes Latham. First man through, burrows inside the 5 to about the 3. Bobby Arnold the third in on the tackle. Kyler Drake down on the ground on defense at the linebacker level for the Lobos.
Taking their time, letting this group up front get a lather, and now you're seeing them try and change the gap equation. They go tackle over left that time, so you've got the guard and the tight end on the end of the line on the right side, an extra offensive line body over on that left, signaling to everybody, hey, we're going right down State Street up that left side.
In the red zone now, second and goal, 11th play of the drive. A toss to the perimeter, and they put it in the paint. Cade Harris with his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. Statement drive for the Falcons on offense.
And you got to be able to do a little bit of everything. Look at the block by number 25, Tyler Latham on the perimeter. Going, gets a great kick out. You get student body right, working off that motion in the toss. And who else but Cade Harris, who in the midst of a season where you're trying to find an identity, has been the guy that they can continually count on to make plays in this offense.
Their leader in just about every category. His best rushing day was a game against Baylor. 8 carries for 71 yards, both career highs. DePore with a right-footed extra point. And Air Force is back within a possession after an 11-play, 75-yard touchdown drive. Quentin Hayes leads them down the field, and they finish it with Harris.
I was born with a fire inside, but psoriasis doused my flame until I got clearer skin. With Bimzelx, you could say I'm back. Most people got 100% clear skin, some after the first dose.
Serious side effects, including suicidal thoughts and behavior, infections, and lowered ability to fight them, liver problems, and inflammatory bowel disease have occurred. Tell your doctor if these happen or worsen, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to.
Start to get yourself back with Bimzelx.
Ask your dermatologist about Bimzelx today.
Pro-level performance at work and at home. Right now, save $50 on the VGA 57 battery blower. Real STIHL. Find yours.
If itty-bitty value meals from other places could talk, they'd talk like this.
If Arby's $7 double meats meal could talk, it'd talk like me. Arby's, we have the meats.
The world ain't set up for the honest man to succeed. America's a hustle. It'll eat you alive if you let it. Not that I'm complaining.
The Penguin, streaming exclusively on Max.
Look at that! That's a doorway!
Wednesday.
This is an opening!
Petra's secrets.
Here we go!
Will be revealed.
Oh my god!
New Expedition Unknown. Wednesday at 9 on Discovery.
NHL on TNT.
We are back.
You may want to buckle up.
Come on, guys! Yeah, baby! Here we go!
Oh, what a holy jumping. This place is going to explode.
I'm jazzed up, ready to go.
So unforgettable. More than incredible.
Oh, you're not entertained?
More than incredible. More than incredible.
The unforgettable. Ready to the boy!
It's the NBA on TNT.
America, we're glad to have y'all back.
Cheer on your favorite Mountain West team with officially licensed band gear. For the best selection of team apparel and accessories, head to shopncaasports.com. Back in Albuquerque, where this game has already shown us Air Force's longest scoring drive and longest touchdown drive by plays of the season. Nice leap forward for the Falcons. And a chance for New Mexico to return. Javen Jacobs knocked out up near the 30-yard line. Let's go down to the field and check in with Bridget.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I talked with quarterback Devin Dampier for New Mexico earlier this week and just asked him what is the key when you're going up against Air Force offensively. He said, he told me that they're well aware that playing Air Force means as an offense, they know their amount of drives and possessions will shrink. He said they want to be a lot more consistent and their execution has to be at a higher level with the less amount of plays.
Thank you, Bridget. Here he is, first-time starter with a chance to orchestrate one of the great offenses in program history. 5 games in, great returns. Now a sweep. to the left edge. A little stutter and go for Mayava Peters. Golic hinted we might see him in a wildcat formation. They sent him in motion here. Sol-Jay Mayava Peters for 20 yards.
The creativity for this offense on display. You see at the point of that bunch, Isaiah Silliman, number 38, the tight end, who's actually a former offensive lineman, 6'1", 303, that they're going to use as a really critical accessory to this offense.
And there is Mayava Peters. We saw a healthy dose of this in their win a couple of weeks ago against New Mexico State. And every direct snap that he takes as a QB run is one Dampier does not have to.
And this is the stuff that we're used to seeing from Bronco Mendenhall, from Jason Beck, going back to their days in Virginia, where they'd use guys like Keaton Thompson that are versatile offensive pieces. And so you get Isaiah Silliman as that unique blocking body, almost buys you a sixth offensive lineman in protection. And then Sol-Jay, that experience at quarterback, paying dividends in some critical snaps.
Dampier off the play fake, spins one right side and low, but it's caught inside the 30 for a first down. Wysong, he's done it in the return game. Now from the widest position as a receiver.
Yep, you see setting up a little bit of that post wheel on the outside with Nick Trujillo, where they might have had him open deep, quite honestly, but wanting to hit that in cutter to Luke Wysong. Won't ever go broke taking a profit. The Lobos do just that.
They put him into the boundary again. Eli Sanders steps into the backfield next to Devin Dampier. Lobos looking for a quick answer. Sanders. Game tackle before he can reach the 20-yard line. Tuioti Mariner stepping in this week. Asked to play some nickel today with Levi Brown out with an injury. This Air Force team had 30 first-time starters when they arrived in Albuquerque, at least 4 more today. By far the most in the country, just to give you a sense of how new they are on both sides of the football. Second down, this is Dampier trying to win a race to the outside. That football was knocked out of his hands out of bounds. Tuioti Mariner again in pursuit.
That's what we've been waiting for all day long here. Broken play and the scramble ability of Devin Dampier. This time you see him almost throw that Patrick Mahomes pump fake on the edge. A great job tracking to the football by Tuioti Mariner from that back end. Lucky break for New Mexico. That ball bounces out of bounds for safety. Oh, look at the big fella in the backfield now. Isaiah Silliman, who we just mentioned, lined up in that backfield next to Dampier.
Only the third down of the day, and they throw it for a touchdown. Nick Trujillo.
And we just mentioned, what do you do down in the red zone when you want to free it up on the back end? You send all the messages that we're getting big to run downhill. You put your offensive lineman, turn tight end in the backfield. Quarterback run has been a steady diet in the red zone for these guys. You see them getting ready to go. And then a great job loading up by Dampier. You get Jeremy Bellamy coming downhill thinking he's going to have to be in run support, and it opens it up for Trujillo right behind.
18 yards for his first receiving touchdown of the year. He went to high school with fellow Lobos, Luke and Evan Wysong, also David Murphy. You're right, they put so much of that on tape, you had to honor it. Trujillo gets loose to the end zone.
Introducing the Wendy's Krabby Patty Collab Burger. It has fresh, never frozen beef that's, wait for it, square. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And I'm ready. For the Krabby Patty Collab meal you're craving, gotta be Wendy's.
Are you looking at 4x4s on Cars.com again?
I honestly don't know what you're talking about.
I was thinking of something more sophisticated. Fine. Keep the beard.
Cars.com. Where to next?
There's nothing average about the Air Force Academy or those who come here.
It takes more than smarts and good grades.
It takes grit.
It's for the I never quit students. The relentless, persevering, most likely to keep trying until I reach my best students.
Because we will go on to lead others, push boundaries, save lives, and represent American ideals.
If you've got what it takes, prove it.
Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary in the lot recently?
You have no idea what you're getting yourself into here.
This is not a disease you can catch.
Let me in.
Sailor's Lot. Streaming exclusively on Max.
Are we doing this? Hell yeah, we're doing this. Hey boys, need a ride?
American Dad, all new October 28th on TBS.
There is some going on between Tammy and me. Why are you giving me that look? This was what I was talking about. Get out of my house. She's done crossed too many lines and I'm over it.
All new 1,000-Pound Sisters. Tuesday at 9 on TLC.
Tear down the empire from the inside out. Academy Award nominee Colin Farrell is the Penguin in the new HBO original limited series. Now streaming with new episodes Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on Max. After the 18-yard touchdown connection from Dampier to Trujillo, the Lobos tee it up and kick it away. Fair catch signaled for, and over the shoulder of Cade Harris. So a touchback with 5:05 remaining in the opening half. This feels like a must score for Air Force.
Jeff doing a great job keeping pace with the New Mexico team that got the added advantage of that special team score. The third phase of the game, tacking an extra one on the board. But we've seen and mentioned the two longest drives in terms of plays and longest scoring drive for Air Force so far this season, and some wrinkles of the quarterback counter run game being worked in now. Let's see what they've got in store for what if they play their cards right. Could be the final drive of the half.
30 run plays so far. They've not thrown it. They did drop back to pass once and only once, and it was a sack. Now on the boot. Hayes in space. There's the first completion of the game for Air Force. How about this catch and run for the tight end, Bruin Fleischman. His second grab of the season is a chunk play into Lobos territory.
Great patience by Hayes. That's the third read. You've got two offensive players already out in the route action. Fleischman coming from the backside of the formation. That's going to take time to open up. But Hayes confident, getting out on that designed rollout. We talked about it. Passing within the flow of the offense, not out of desperation, creates a great opportunity for Air Force.
His only other catch against Baylor went for 7 yards. That one good for 43. Quarterback keeps and tosses. Latham down the sideline. Back-to-back productive plays to start the drive for Air Force. They're already in the red zone with a new first down.
Great job. Watch Quentin Hayes step up in the middle of this run to freeze the defender. That extra little juke up front buys up the eyes of Christian Ellis, the safety, and frees up the pitch man for added yards. And that's a great job causing conflict in space by the quarterback.
20 more yards on the ground. They can still pick up a first down inside that 3-yard line. The fullback with a full head of steam. My goodness, was there a collision? Terrence Giss runs 225 pounds. Cameron Breyer trying to fit up in there and pave the way for him from his receiver position.
It's a difficult part of defending this offense is they've got so many bodies they roll through all these spots. Anyone in the backfield can touch the ball. And so on one play you might be getting hit by a guy that runs a little bit undersized, and the next play you run into a brick wall like you got with Gist there.
An emphatic gain of 4. Now some pre-snap motion, including Cade Harris, who scored the most recent touchdown. Out to that right edge again. Rocco Conti dragged down inside the 5. It'll be 3rd and short. 5th carry of the season.
Eyes on number 21, Cade Harris. We're used to seeing him with the rock in his hands. But you earn your bites out of the apple by going out there and blocking for your teammates. Look at him leading up on the back end here, putting his head right into the chest of the defender and depositing him in the dirt. There's nothing that says more about you than how willing you are to block for your teammates, especially if you're a guy that carries the ball.
The most rapid drive of the night for the Falcons. 3rd and short. This is Latham, and that's a touchdown. Quite the answer from the Falcons.
And brother, if it looked good going right, why don't we try it out going left? They found something with this speed toss down on the goal line. And who else again but Cade Harris out as the lead blocker on this one. And when you get with those shifts and that motion right before the snap, is you get a numbers advantage over on that side. So now Cade Harris becomes that extra blocker on that side of the football. And the defense is having to adjust, having to check, watch out for these motions, and can't get over there in time to erase that angle that this offense has created.
The pour on for the try. So when Bronco Mendenhall says that Air Force has always been the most creative, the most diverse of the option teams, and he's faced them all, is that an illustration of what he means?
Absolutely. Before the snap, you've got to be aware with more with them than anyone else. You're watching right now. The service academies are having a great year. Navy and Army, two of the better teams in college football, but run more of that traditional wishbone that we've seen, quite honestly, to start the night from Air Force. The first drive, they didn't really have to bust out any of the fine china, but now in these last couple series, we've seen them go to a few of these tweaks, especially in the red zone, and so you get big offensive linemen pulling out onto the perimeter. You get a guy in that fly motion going out there and getting that ability to come downhill and get physical with a running start and provide great creases for these running backs to get upfield.
Yeah, their center Cooley said this week that they're doing their level best to perfect the little things. The little things, the details seem to be the theme of the week for Air Force, and they're showing up. Now, I don't want to be the wet blanket, but the only downside of what they just did there is they did it too quickly. They left 246 for the Lobos going the other way.
I think you'll sacrifice that to establish a little bit of that passing game that hasn't showed up. We mentioned John Boucher had been under 50% completion percentage on the season so far. They've struggled in that phase of the game, and now you've given New Mexico yet another thing they got to think about.
Devin Dampier on pace for nearly 4,000 yards, which would break Stoney Case's school record set exactly 30 years ago. He's got a 100 yards from scrimmage here tonight already. Plenty of time and all three timeouts to work with. But this has been an issue for New Mexico, and we've done our best to kind of hold it back and judge them by the results tonight. But
52 offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Lawan Owens, their left tackle. This is the most penalized team in college football, no matter how you shape it up.
Last in FBS with 59 total penalties coming into this game, 11.8 penalties per game, and 101 penalty yards per game. It's just hard to win football games like that when you're giving up that much hidden yardage.
So first down and 15. A short set and a quick completion. Wysong continues to be the preferred target for Dampier and the Lobos. Jamari Bellamy was the defensive back for Air Force.
Great job taking the easy access stuff on the perimeter. If they're going to give you a cushion, Devin Dampier more than willing to take it, as we see a little bit more methodical pace from New Mexico, feeling how valuable each of these possessions are now that Air Force's offense has come to play today.
And with three receivers and a tight end. Airborne to bring in another first down catch. It's Wysong. Hit by Trey Williams. First down, Lobos.
Getting big. We mentioned Isaiah Silliman on the end of that line of scrimmage, that offensive line body in the tight end room, and getting everyone bought up down there for these RPO passes that have been huge for the Lobos so far today.
And Dampier looking to answer before the half. He's got a 21-17 lead on Air Force at the 2-minute timeout. Just a gorgeous night at Sunsets in Albuquerque.
There's nothing better than being there for your family, friends, and community. But the older you are, the higher your risk of missing out because you get seriously ill with flu, COVID-19, or RSV. So get this season's vaccines, because being there for all of them begins with taking care of yourself. Risk less. Do more.
I'll stop the world and melt with you. I'll stop the world and melt with you.
Have you had your Hershey's?
Amazon fall favorites are here. Save on fashion, home, beauty, and more. Shop Amazon fall favorites now.
Soft drinks are just $1 at Wendy's. Any size, anytime. 3 p.m. Fanta, 10 p.m. Sprite, 7:46 a.m. Coke. Yeah, you're built different. Dollar soft drinks, any size, gotta be Wendy's.
I worried that he was falling behind in growth. So we tried Pediasure. It's clinically proven to help kids grow with 27 vitamins and minerals and protein. Now he's thriving and smiling. Pediasure was a win for all of us.
world ain't set up for the honest man to succeed. America's a hustle. It'll eat you alive if you let it. Not that I'm complaining.
The Penguin, streaming exclusively on Max. Utah State must protect their home turf.
Putting on a show here today.
When Devin Dampier leads New Mexico into Aggie country. Next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific on True TV and Max.
University Stadium, home to the Lobos, home to one of the great offenses in college football so far this season. And Mike Golick Jr., they've done it against great competition as well.
Yeah, we talk about the difficulty of the Mountain West out-of-conference schedule, but having teams like Auburn on there, Arizona, some really big-bodied defenses that Devin Dampier and this group have executed well against. Getting ready for the 2-minute drill now.
Some misdirection here. Quarterback still has the football. Dampier runs out of bounds, extending it near the original line of scrimmage. Osaro Aihi played it well in space. Are you going to say it or am I?
I was going to say that goes down as now the first blemish for this New Mexico offensive line. They had been 0 on the year.
The last offense to allow a sack in the entirety of college football. They motioned to empty before second down 11. In solidarity with the offensive line, Mike Golick Jr. made sure that we did not mention it until we saw it so far tonight. Dampier set the laces and whistles one, complete to midfield. Caleb Medford toppled with a new set of downs. Big hit by Candy Goff in the secondary. Gain to 15.
Great switch with him. And Javen Jacobs coming from inside out gets upended there. Fresh set of downs with 1:38 left.
Off the fake, Dampier. A pump fake, and now a lateral. I'm partial to the greatest show on turf. I think we're seeing some new wrinkles to it here in Albuquerque.
It's Travis Kelce's America right here. Laterals in uncommon spots. And this is just the extended triple option right here. An RPO action where it looked like Dampier had plenty of room to run. He sees that little option for a couple extra yards at the end of the plays. Go for it.
The level of confidence he's playing with as he gives to Jacobs belies how inexperienced he is. Like the coaching staff inherited him as a reserve from last year, and they were so impressed just by his clips, they decided not to bring in any competition at quarterback.
And getting him all the way through the spring then is the one, all through fall camp. Those reps invaluable for a guy that does play well beyond the game total next to his name.
Final minute of the first half. Air Force will get it first in the second half. There's another spiral drilled inside the red zone. And complete for a first down to Trujillo, who just caught an 18-yard touchdown.
Great job in rhythm, just finding holes in the zone. You see Trujillo clear that linebacker, find that gap before the safety Candy Goff can get up there. First down.
Lobos playing on their front foot here. A physical run from Javen Jacobs, the sophomore, from Chandler, Arizona. He's got nearly 8 on first down. He was high school teammates with Devin Dampier.
Now we're going to see that first timeout off the board. It looks like for New Mexico, who had all 3 in their pocket, 43 seconds left, and that's what you want to do. You've got everything at your disposal in the 2-minute drill. The clock stops after each first down while they reset the chains. It stops when guys go out of bounds. So Devin Dampier has done a phenomenal job navigating this offense through a scenario. You drill all the time through the course of training camp. Getting the ball at the opponent's or your own 40, having to drive out with all those timeouts, and now under 50 seconds, using the full depth and breadth of the field, being able to burn that first one of those with second and manageable, still have the whole playbook available to you.
I've been impressed with the poise from this Lobos offense and really entirety of their team. But when you go 3 and out and you give up points going the other direction to Air Force, the game can really shrink on you, and they did not flinch.
That special team score goes a long way in easing the mind of everyone on offense. But give credit again in this situation. We talked about Dampier, who helps a lot. This offensive line almost completely new. 16 guys transferring in at that position to come in and now be in range where they hadn't given up a sack until this game today. It says a lot about that group's ability to dial in and focus.
Now Air Force takes a timeout. That special team score that Mike referenced was a punt return from receiver Luke Weisaw.
Phenomenal play by him. Again, the catalyst for so much of this offense. But Trujillo had 4 for 77 yards against Fresno State. you've got a couple of different options in this room that could really show up for you. A running back room that's seen a bunch of different guys carry the load throughout the season. Eli Sanders had 33 carries for 116 yards in the first 2 games. We know Nakari Rogers has come on, especially in that New Mexico State game. So there's a lot of places to distribute the ball. And we hear point guard all the time for a quarterback. You've got Steph Curry in the backfield now, a guy who can call his own number and get his own shot, in addition to making life easier by stressing the defense for all those other guys we just mentioned.
With a pretty overhead shot here in Albuquerque on a weekend in which this city hosted the International Balloon Fiesta, a world-renowned attraction. I think Mike was planning to be here anyway, so convenient that you're able to join us for TNT Sports.
It's nice when the stars align and I get to explore both of my passions, college football and ballooning.
I only provide the hot air to the proceedings. 43 seconds left to go in the half.
That's why they pay him the big bucks.
Mexico looking to tack on, knowing their opponents will get the first crack in the third quarter. Dampier from the shotgun with lead blockers. Look at the patience to the perimeter. Could be enough for a first and goal situation.
Right here, this quarterback counter that's been the staple all night. Trace Bruckler leading up the way there, but a good job rallying by this Air Force defense.
10th play of the drive. Dampier calls his own number and stumbles to the 2. Another timeout here with 14 seconds remaining.
Still got that one timeout left. Fresh set of downs inside the 5 for New Mexico. Can't really script it any better now, but now you've got to pay it off. You got all that misdirection in the backfield to get back to the same thing. Air Force defensively now starting to cue in on the quarterback run, especially down here in the red zone. It's going to buy a great opportunity for someone, kind of like we saw earlier when they went for that quarterback mesh read in the backfield where you get a little jet motion coming across and everyone's so worried about the quarterback. Now one of those other skill players gets to the edge a little bit easier. Maybe this is a play action pass where you get Dampier on the move a little bit. We saw them try and go design rollout with him on the first play of the game. I love that as a low red zone play when you've got a quarterback with this kind of playmaking ability. Simplify the read, get him in space, put the defense in conflict, and then give him the opportunity to go and call his own number in the low red zone.
2 tight ends in that huddle, including your favorite player, Isaiah Silliman, the Rhino formation for first and goal with 14 seconds left in the half. Watch 38 in red. Where he goes, the ball often follows. Nakari Rogers at 210 pounds will be the back. With a timeout to utilize from just outside the 2-yard line. Dampier gives, no, he keeps, and he walks in. Sold the fake and scores going into the halftime locker room.
And this is something Jason Beck talked about that he brought over from Syracuse, where he had Garrett Schrader. You give the quarterback the ability to call his own number if he feels that the defense is going to play too hard down on that backside. And you saw Air Force selling out for that jumbo package to stop the run. We used to call that alert silver. The quarterback wouldn't tell the line he was even taking the ball. You're going up there to run a play. Quarterback's the only one who knows he's keeping it. And with an athlete like that in the perimeter, usually got a good chance of putting it in the end zone.
He's good at keeping secrets in addition to everything else that he's done in his first year as a starter. He fooled everyone.
And we mentioned they brought an extra offensive lineman on the field, so you've got 6 offensive linemen, really a 7th in the backfield with Silliman. And so all the indicators on that left side jumbo package are, hey, that same diet of quarterback run of the offensive line prying away on that left side creates a great chance for no one to be there on that naked boot for the quarterback.
I appreciate the positive reaction from his teammate Nakari Rogers, who came in there. Like, if that was designed for him to take that handoff and he just got ghosted, he didn't show it.
Getting left on red is pretty tough. You got to play your cool in those situations. And Nakari Rogers, I think, knows, hey, if Dampier's getting loose, they've got to account for him. Better for me in the long run here. They both ate against New Mexico State in that big win, and there's certainly going to be plenty of opportunities in that second half if New Mexico wants to grind out a win here as well.
The Mountain West leader in total offense has his 3rd game with multiple rushing touchdowns here in week 7. Bronco Mendenhall is a program builder, and one of the elements, one of the ingredients he's talked about from his previous stops is home field advantage. It often happens in year 2. Nights like these can be the building blocks towards a true home field advantage here in Albuquerque.
You want to create an expectation for your home fans that they can expect a product that's going to live up to what they've seen from Bronco Mendenhall in the past. We always looked at that as players. Hey, you can not like if you get booed at home in certain instances or if the student section throws snowballs at you. I'm not still bitter. But it's your job to go and put a product on the field that's worth cheering about, worth showing up for.
And that was a dark day in South Bend. I remember that one too. Today was a victorious one for the Fighting Irish, maybe something that might be mentioned at halftime. 28-17, New Mexico looking for its first home victory. In search of its first Mountain West victory is in the driver's seat after 2 quarters. After the break, it's the TNT Sports College Football Halftime, presented by the BR app with Lefko, Victor Cruz, Takeo Spice, and Champ Bailey. Devin Dampier and the Lobos putting on a show in front of the home crowd.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check your school's saying first before saying it.
High tide! High tide, guys! High tide! High tide! High tide! High tide!
It's roll tide.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Me and Daddy met when we were teenagers. We were both working here and it was right there in that kitchen where Mommy and Daddy fell in love. So if they're bringing back the original recipe, then you know it's gonna be good.
Our original recipe is back. Churches.
The future is threatened by enemies often unpredictable. When there are battles to win for America's future, there is one constant: Marines.
Did you know you can save with GoodRx, even if you have insurance?
You know, I thought my prescription was covered until it wasn't, but GoodRx helps with that.
I work for myself, so I buy my own insurance. And I still check GoodRx.
I'm on Medicare. I check GoodRx because it can beat my copay. Who wouldn't like that?
Even if you have insurance, GoodRx can help you save.
Okay, we'll see you next time.
Another good reason to check GoodRx.
Domino's now has new 5-cheese mac and cheese. It's oven-baked, hot, and melty. But if you want to crank up the heat even higher, it also comes in spicy buffalo. Try new 5-cheese and spicy buffalo mac and cheese. Only at Domino's.
From the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power, the Ego Power Plus blower, reaching an incredible 765 CFM. It runs up to 90 minutes on a single charge, exclusively at Lowe's, Ace, and Ego authorized dealers.
Cueing the music.
If you're feeling out of step with your current big wireless plan,
Switch.
Exactly. Switch to Consumer Cellular. They use the same towers as big wireless, so you can
Switch.
Yup, and save up to half for the same reliable nationwide coverage. All the dips is the price. Ow, ow, ow. Story. With plans starting at just $20 and 100% US-based customer service, it's easy to switch to Consumer Cellular.
Welcome to College Football Halftime, TNT Sports, presented by the BR app. 2 teams looking for their first win in Mountain West play, and Devin Dampier is at it again. Came into the game 10th most yards per game for any player, and he has now 178 total yards and 3 touchdowns. 5 rushing touchdowns in the last 2 games alone. Welcome inside Studio J, Takeo Spites, Victor Cruz. I just want to touch it. It's so soft. Champ Bailey. I don't touch him. He doesn't like that. I'm Lefko. Good to have you here. Hey, look, this is a good Air Force game. This is a team that is last in college football at around 11 points per game, and they have 17 in the first half. But it's the big plays for New Mexico that got it going. Some special teams. I think we're all a fan of Y-Song, too.
We are.
Making big plays happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been good to see him develop and make some plays over the last few weeks. Today, no different. The guy catches a punt, does exactly what we expect. This kid makes plays. It's always good to get it in the middle of the field. And what they tell you, Vic, hit it straight down the middle. Hit it straight down the middle. Hope your boys get some blocks, some guys miss some tackles, make a few miss. off to the races.
Yeah, everybody knows when you're returning punts, you have to make one move, believe it, be confident with it, and get vertical. So you see him set up to the left, put his foot in the ground, and get vertical. He saw that lane and hit it. Then the rest is just athleticism, baby. You got a couple blockers in front of you, which is always great to see on a punt return.
Oh, yeah.
And then you just put the burners on to get in the end zone.
You know what's strange? I saw a couple of offensive linemen on the punt team just then.
That's rare.
That's rare.
Yeah.
So what is it usually? Defensive linemen?
Yeah,
don't they got to be there to block for the punt?
No, you got to have like guys who could run.
Yeah, linebackers,
running backs.
No.
Running backs, tight
At what
ends.
point of the punt return do you go, oh, I could take this to the house?
Right when you get through that first layer.
So you make that cut, you hit the
'Cause
hole.
Once that happens, it kind of opens up, and you're like, oh, I don't see a lot of opposite color jerseys here. I got to find my route, and now I can make
Is there
something
any
happen.
part of you that's like, if someone catches me from behind, though?
It's over with.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
But
You don't
I
can't imagine that happened
You
to
don't
you
think
too
about
many
that because you just believing in your speed, knowing that you're getting downfield. If anybody
Yes.
catches you, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Dampier is someone that we've enjoyed watching a lot. Had a career-high 3 touchdowns rushing last week. Already has 2 in the first half with his arm, with his legs. Dangerous dual combo.
Very dangerous, consistent more than anything, but he's been very productive this half, 77% when you look at his completion rate. You talk about the 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing, but him managing the game and understanding and knowing, especially in the red zone, when to keep it, when to give it away, and being able to score and celebrate with his teammates, that's what makes him different.
We saw it from game 1. I think it was Montana State. He had that awesome play action. Devin Dampier has been fun to watch the entire season thus far. What a slate of college football games we had today. They were all fun. Here are the stats from the first half, though, to just recap this. New Mexico has an 11-point lead. 17 the first half. Air Force hasn't done that since their bowl game last year. Wow. Not a lot of penalties. And look at third down. I mean, that's 9 of 13 combined. These teams are keeping the ball, almost double time of possession for Air Force, which is what they have to do if they want to win.
And that's the key to their recipe as far as if they want to win. But this is what makes it even more impressive. New Mexico has only had the ball 10 minutes and still very productive.
Big plays.
Yeah.
Big plays.
And the punt return will do that. That
Absolutely.
will skew the statistics. All right, Penn State, USC. Penn State was down big, and they came roaring back. Nicholas Singleton, the tight end for Penn State, had a monster game. Overtime. You got to be kidding me. 45-yard field goal. I'm not going to say his name because it's embarrassing. But Ryan Barker drills a 36-yarder, and Penn State survives. USC covered, though. There he is. Tyler Warren, 17 catches.
Game, dog.
224.
You were ridiculous, Tyler Warren.
And he caught that ball over the defender's
That was
head.
him, right?
Yeah.
Yes. That was earlier. That
And
was
you're wearing
impressive.
44. You look like a fullback.
I thought it was a fullback.
Yes.
But then like, with that stat line, you are not a fullback. Pardon the
Look
disrespect.
at that. James
big dog.
Franklin was like, give me the flag. What are you doing? It's a new Big Ten rivalry, Coach.
It's bad when the head coach goes out there.
Yeah, they're not trying to do the Baker Mayfield. Speaking of Red River rivalry,
They dodged the bullet there.
they really did. Ball recovered by Silas Bold in the end zone, so that was 14-3 Texas. You can see the score. Quinn Ewers was back, and they did all they wanted. Wiser here running up the left side. Texas 34-3.
What was that thing I said about this always being close? I guess not this year.
Not this year.
Not this year.
Took back what's ours. It's coming home. It does seem like a different year for Texas, Jim.
Yeah, they look for real.
It really does.
What's up with everybody doing something at
They
the
put the
50?
Oklahoma jersey at midfield, and then a flag in it.
Why they do Baker like that? Come on.
Wow.
Come on.
Texas fears nobody. Baker Mayfield. Man,
At least Baker knows he left his mark.
exactly.
Yeah,
If we're
he
still
did.
talking
Yeah,
about
he
you
did.
about 10 years later, and Georgia
The Dogs.
taking on Mississippi State.
about
Beautiful
them
face,
Dogs,
Carson Beck finding Lawson Lucky. Watch this toe tap.
That was a great ball, too.
Big day for Beck. Big
Man.
day.
That's
41-31. You worried they let up 31
Great
at Mississippi State?
Look, man, this is not acceptable. If we want to beat Texas, we can't play defense like this. Too many big plays. It just we had a lot of penalties on third down. It's just unacceptable.
Texas doesn't have a loss. Georgia has the one loss next week.
Yep.
I mean, we're 7 days away now, but I need to get your take on this. How you feeling?
Well, ask me Thursday.
Okay.
Maybe I'll feel better than I do today, but I don't like what we're doing on defense. I feel like on the outside we're giving up too many big plays. And obviously you see today on third down, penalties that just cost us and drives just kept continuing. We're missing a lot of tackles. That's not good Georgia defense for me. I don't like it, but I hope we improve this week and emphasize those things.
Georgia was going to be the game where we really got a litmus test of how good Texas is.
Yeah.
What do you think as someone, I know Georgia means a lot to you, even though that's not your squad.
No, it's not, but the reality of it is I think Georgia is one of those teams. I told Champ this a few hours ago. I think we became enamored and we fell in love with what we saw 2 out of the past 3 years of how great they were defensively.
Yeah.
And we won't really appreciate that until we get to years later. But I say all of that to say Georgia plays better. Depending on who they play,
Right.
I think they're going to raise up their level of play.
I mean, today was definitely a trap game. You're looking ahead at Texas because you got Mississippi State with one
We
win.
don't do that.
You are a completely unbiased party. What does next week feel like to you?
It feels like a big game for both teams. It feels like the biggest game on the schedule to date, that they're going to both have to bring their A games. We're going to find out a lot about both of these teams, national championship contending teams that are going to go head to head, and I'm excited to see the outcome.
The college football playoffs will be forever changed by whatever happens next week. If Georgia has 2 losses, I call this guy True TV Ho instead of Trujillo. But he's been making some big catches. Dan Pierre doing it with his arms and his legs. Well, I shouldn't have said it like that now that I think about it.
Different energy on it. Different energy.
I was born with wings, but psoriasis swooped in to clip them.
It crushed my confidence. It kept me in the shadows.
But no longer will psoriasis get a piece of me. With Bimzelx, I can't wait to say, I'm back.
I'm back.
I'm back. I can love my skin again.
Only Bimzelx targets and blocks IL-17A plus F to calm inflammation.
I can control my plaques and start getting myself back.
Bimzelx helps adults with moderate to severe psoriasis control plaques to deliver clearer skin fast for results that last.
I will give myself back the freedom of shorts.
Dare to wear black again, from head to toe.
Most people got 100% clear skin.
Saw him after the first dose. Serious side effects, including suicidal thoughts and behavior, infections, and lowered ability to fight them. Liver problems and inflammatory bowel disease have occurred. Tell your doctor if these happen or worsen, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to.
Start to get yourself back.
Ask your dermatologist about Bimzelx.
Create a backyard that's out of this world. Right now, save $50 on the MSA 60 CB battery chainsaw. Real steel. Find yours.
We've never spoken, but you've told us many things. That you love stargazing, hate parallel parking, and occasionally your right foot gets a little heavy. The Lexus ES didn't begin in the studio, it began with you.
The world ain't set up for the honest man to succeed. America's a hustle. It'll eat you alive if you let it. Not that I'm complaining.
The Penguin, streaming exclusively on Max.
Look at that! That's a doorway!
Wednesday.
This is an opening!
Petra's secrets.
Here we go!
Will be revealed.
Oh my god!
New Expedition Unknown. Wednesday at 9 on Discovery.
NHL on TNT. We are back. You may want to buckle up.
Come on, guys! Yeah, baby! Here we go!
Oh, what a holy jumping. This place is going to explode.
I'm jazzed up, ready to go.
So unforgettable. More than incredible.
Oh, you're about to entertain?
More than metaphor. More than incredible.
The unforgettable. Ready to the boy!
It's the NBA on TNT.
America, we glad to have y'all back.
Alabama up 8 late. South Carolina trying to do the unthinkable 1 week after Bama surprisingly lost to Vanderbilt. A toe-tapping touchdown with 42 seconds. Nick Harbor, what a catch.
A couple of those.
2-point conversion, no good, so they got to do an onside kick. Oh, wow.
He just threw his chest at it.
They're going to change their hands.
Somewhere upset.
Immediately.
Last chance. 11 seconds left, throws it up, but Bama comes down with it. Domani Jackson seals the game. Bama survives. It has been a rough 2 weeks for Bama fans.
Heavy.
The Vanderbilt loss, then this. I know Mark Ingram wasn't happy about it. How about this? Pittsburgh 5-0, looking to go 6-0 for the first time since 1982. Desmond Reed
I love
gets
when
all the
Pittsburgh
way.
wears these jerseys, man. The throwbacks always look good in the yellow.
It feels like the Dan Marino.
Exactly.
Cal with a chance to go ahead in the fourth. You gotta be kidding.
Gotta watch out for Pitt.
Don't say his name.
I don't say kickers' names when they miss. How about that? For the first time since '82, that's Dan Marino.
Wow. I
era.
wasn't born for that, actually, Adam, but
I mean, that's right after Tony Dorsett. Pitt's one of those teams that has some all-time great players.
They do.
Getting ready for the second half here. We're going to see Dampier doing his thing. Air Force trying to control the clock. What are you expecting from Dampier? He set a career-high 3 rushing touchdowns last week. He already has 2. Does he beat it? Does he get 4 tonight?
He's going to get 5 tonight.
5?
5.
Okay, Tequila.
I feel that. I'm lucky tonight.
Very special performance from him thus far. Other games from around college football that maybe caught your guys' attention. Let's take a look at some of the scores. I'm curious what jumps out to you.
Big board.
What do you guys see?
Let's see here.
Big time shootout between Purdue and Illinois. San Diego State holds on for the win.
You kidding me? Look at the one in the top right. UMass and Missouri.
Oh, yeah. Victor Cruz, the Fighting
I was trying to blind myself from the top right of the screen.
Misery loves company.
The fact that this game was even played in McGurk is a win for me.
That
You know
is
what I'm saying?
wild.
I'm with Mark Ingram.
Pretty
Bama
crazy.
can't do this. They gotta dominate, especially after a loss like last
Will
week.
Alabama figure it out? All right, we're getting ready to send it back out for the second half. J.B. Long, Mike Golick Jr. with the chest popping out right now.
Look at the swag on the bird.
Bridget
right
Howard,
there.
Air Force, ready to go. Can they make a comeback? Oh, it's going to be good. Second half. Dampier going to get 5 rushing touchdowns.
He's going to break one, too.
He's going to break one?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Big second half coming up next. Enjoy the second half. We'll see you in postgame.
Okay, trainees, let's work on our fast and friendly claim service. Eyes on the phone now. Look alive, Drew.
Your repairs have been scheduled.
Nice.
Yes, you'll get a rental car on site.
Heads up. Oh, I'm gonna turn this down to an 8. My bad. We can do this all day. Geico claim service is 24/7. Nice catch. Your claim has been approved. Your claim has been approved.
For savings and service, get more with Geico.
Me and Daddy met when we were teenagers. We were both working here, and it was right there in that kitchen where Mommy and Daddy fell in love. So if they're bringing back the original recipe, then you know it's gonna be good.
Our original recipe is back. Churches.
Why did we choose Safelight? We're always working on a project while loading up our SUV. One extra push and crack. So we scheduled at Safelight.com. We were able to track our technician and knew exactly when he'd arrive. We could keep working. Safelight came to us.
Hi, I'm Kendrick.
With the replacement we could trust. That's service the way we want it.
Schedule free mobile service now at safelight.com.
Safelight Repair, Safelight Replace.
Consumer Cellular is lowering the price for those 50 and up. Get 2 unlimited lines for $30 each. That's just $60 a month. So switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage satisfaction. Visit consumercellular.com today.
Ready, set, spark. With Rose Sparks, you get the active ingredient in Viagra, but faster. Why? Under-the-tongue dissolvables hit your bloodstream more quickly compared to pills, which means less waiting and more doing. Sparks also contain the active ingredient in Cialis for long-lasting results, so you can go an extra lap. With ingredients for fast results that last, there's Rose Sparks. See if Sparks are right for you at ro.co/sparks.
The world ain't set up for the honest man to succeed. America's a hustle. It'll eat you alive if you let it. Not that I'm complaining.
The Penguin, streaming exclusively on Max.
Look at that! That's a doorway!
Wednesday,
This is an opening!
Petra's secrets
Here we go!
will be revealed.
Oh my god!
New Expedition Unknown, Wednesday at 9 on Discovery.
This is Latham, and that's a touchdown.
is blocked. Into the end zone. Dampier does it all with the convoy. Touchdown. Dampier gives no repeats, and he walks in. Yeah, that New Mexico offense as advertised. When you mix in a punt return for a touchdown, they score on 4 straight possessions to build the 28-17 lead, but also a good first half for Air Force, a chance to be its most productive day of the season. As we welcome you back to the home of the Lobos here in Albuquerque, Mike Golick Jr., JB along with you on TNT Sports. The Falcons will get it first.
Yeah. And listen, we talked about Quentin Hayes, a great job creating a viable threat for quarterback for Air Force on the other side. But you got to talk about Devin Dampier. He's been the engine that's made this New Mexico show go all night long. Coming off 3 rushing touchdowns against New Mexico State. He started it off threatening on the ground. Quarterback counter, a staple for this offense as he gets in. But that threat of run starts to open up everything else. That pass game to Trujillo. A little bit of mix of that run-pass option, some creativity at the end of the play for a guy that you trust as much as they do. And then, as you said, keeping secrets around the goal line, calling his own number. He's been everything they could want and more, and you can understand why this entire staff and team have a ton of confidence as long as 4 is out there.
Bridget Howard, what'd you learn at halftime?
Yeah, thanks, guys. I talked with both head coaches, and for Troy Calhoun, he liked what his group was able to do in terms of managing that first half with the time of possession. But he did tell me, ultimately that doesn't matter unless we get stops. And in terms of defending Dampier, he said we have to get off of our blocks better. As for Bronco Mendenhall, he said we couldn't have asked for a better finish to that first half with that touchdown drive. Defensively, we have to be more disciplined, though, and stick with our keys. And an update for you guys, Bobby Arnold III, doubtful to return with a leg injury for the Lobos.
Wow, it's a big loss. He was really strong out in space, tackling that triple option in that first half, which Mendenhall had a funny line about defending. He was asked, can you simulate Air Force in practice? His answer was no. How close can you get? Not very. So no wonder it's a matter of discipline and shoring up some things here in the second half.
As someone that used to have to play scout team offensive line during Army, Navy, Air Force week when I was at Notre Dame and we played the academies all the time, he's absolutely right. I did a poor job of the traditional triple option crab blocking there. They save it for the professionals out here, who, again, a really strong first half, some long, sustained drive that we've become accustomed to in the past and that have eluded Air Force so far this season. Quentin Hayes has been the spark they were hoping for.
We got a taste last week and provided a spark, the first passing touchdown of the season for the Falcons. Tonight, his first start. A flag down as he heaves and has a man deeper than the deepest. It's caught at the 30. Latham, a touchdown, if it stands.
And boy, you worry about the position of that flag right now. Another design rollout.
Holding, number 88 in the offense. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
It's Fleischman, the tight end, and it came in early.
Look at Fleischman on the edge here, and you see getting his hand sunk in the shoulder pad, a clear yank, really easy for that back judge to see him throw the flag on. And what a shame, because we talked about them waiting for that backside option last time on the rollout. This side, Tyler Latham gets loose all the way down the field as the defense coming up towards the line of scrimmage. A huge blow to start the second half.
I thought you were going to say disappointing because of the little dance step audition in the end zone there from Latham for our studio team.
Listen, they know if you're playing on TNT, True TV, and the Mountain West Conference, you better be ready to salsa with Victor Cruz after the game. The standard's the standard.
Instead, back to 1st and 20. And you lose that play coming out of the halftime locker room, which clearly they drew up for an explosive. Instead, they'll have to earn it the more patient way. Cade Harris, who rushed for a 5-yard touchdown in the first half.
And really, you look for, you're right, scheming up that big shot play. You lose that off the call sheet now. You might be able to go back to it later on, but you're going to have to earn it again. And one of the ways Air Force has earned it is getting to the perimeter the way that we saw there. These sort of toss sweep action plays. Getting the ball in the hands of Latham, Cade Harris, making use of the fact that they're getting these blockers in motion at the snap has been huge for trying to ultimately get back to the dive again, where they got some easy yards in the first half to start.
Set up to throw. Spins one to the sideline, and it's just beyond the reach of his intended target.
Just out of the reach. Strong ball from Quentin Hayes, who again last week threw the first passing touchdown of the year to Trey Roberson for Air Force against Navy. And now you're back in a third and long situation. Remember a sack last time. Alex Moore, the left tackle, been struggling in protection. They put a tight end over to his side to try and help lengthen that edge here on third and long.
Jared Rosno's making a surprise appearance at receiver for the Falcons, now on the draw. Long way to go, and he trips up right before the sticks. I thought Quentin Hayes might have had it. Does he give them reason to go for it on fourth down?
And you thought if he maybe just went back inside, he might have had the ability to pick up that first down. Right here at the end of the run, you see him stutter his feet, unsure there. I love this as go territory, though. If you're Air Force, you need these drives to put points on the board before New Mexico gets a chance to put more on top of this lead.
An adjustment at the line from Hayes. A short two or a long one. Either way, it's fourth down. He does get the toss out, but the Lobos shut it down. Noah Avenger with a takeaway on downs.
You saw it struggle from the start. Quentin Hayes getting hit at the snap. Right as he was tossing that out there, it ends up being a high flyer that Latham has to reel in. And so now his eyes are off. Everything's a little off timing-wise. But give credit to Avenger. We talked about how big it was. Bobby Arnold was making those plays in the first half, but Avenger, who's been that steady force for this team on the back edge all season long, a great leader for them. Coming up big, and now great opportunity for a shot playoff sudden change if you're this New Mexico offense.
Avenger made the tackle. You saw Antonio Harris Jr., 55, knifing through to disrupt it from the jump, as Mike documented. So now the lead in a short field for Devin Dampier and the Lobos. Mayava Peters with the direct snap. All the way into the red zone on one rep.
And this that quarterback counter that we've talked about working for everybody. Jet motion, they get a puller out front. Great job kicking out from that inside out. And what a just luxury for them to be able to take these hits off Dampier in the quarterback run game.
17 on the game, now a touchdown on the follow-up. The Lobos offense continues to howl. 34-17 their lead.
Going back to the well with Soljay again, and this time watch the block on the perimeter by Nick Trujillo. Good runs happen when the offensive line blocks. Great runs happen when the receivers work downfield, and that time he gives Mayava Peters an easy entry into the end zone. As whoever's back there for quarterback for the Lobos tonight having success behind this offensive line.
A fourth down stop leading to a two-play touchdown drive. Grzywicki does the rest. 35-17 New Mexico cracks it open early in the third.
I have a surprise for you.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah. Feast your eyes on this.
Oh, that's sexy. Feels so new.
I want to feel this feeling again and again.
Can I hold it?
How bad do you want to hold it?
I'm not going to beg, but pretty please.
Or they don't. Go ahead, press a button.
Oh, it's glowing.
Apple Intelligence. We should do this more often.
Agreed.
Rekindle the feeling of love with the new iPhone 16 Pro on us. And feel it again and again with the latest iPhone every year with AT&T Next Up Anytime.
Should we sell the car and get something bigger?
Yeah, we can do both on Cars.com.
But what if it's twins? What if it's quadruplets?
Are you freaking out?
I got this.
Cars.com. Where to next?
I'll stop the world and melt with you. I'll stop the world and melt with you.
Have you had your Hershey's? I worried that he was falling behind in growth. So, we tried Pediasure. It's clinically proven to help kids grow with 27 vitamins and minerals and protein. Now he's thriving and smiling. Pediasure was a win for all of us.
If itty-bitty value meals from other places could talk, they'd talk like this.
If Arby's $7 double meats meal could talk, it'd talk like me.
Arby's, we have the meat.
What do people want more of? More, oh yeah. More laughs. More hangouts. More, so good. Yeah, give us more of all that little stuff that makes life so great. But if you're older or have certain health conditions, you also have more risk from flu, COVID-19, and RSV. Vaccines help keep you from getting really sick, and that is huge.
Golic, if your telestrator is working, now's the time. Get ready for some halftime snack envy.
Look at this right here. Look at all that action. You got a lot of height. You got great depth. Look at all this. Going out of the frame. That's at least a 4.5 foot, maybe a 5 foot tall tower of cotton candy that young man is putting in work on. Let the big dog eat.
Next commercial break, I feel like we have an update. It'll probably be depleted. Depends if he recruits any assistants.
It'll probably be a nap. The crash coming down off that sugar high. I know from experience, dude. Oh, yeah, that's a big bite right there. Cotton candy's a difficult, unwieldy beast. I know a lot of talk about the Texas State Fair this weekend. The fried stuff plays well, but the aerated snacks, part of that dumping sugar into your body that's such a fun at the fair. He's making it look easy right there. It's a pro.
I think he had intentions to share, but then once he got the camera on him, he realized that this was a solo act.
Ready for his moment. We'll see if Air Force is ready for theirs coming off that sudden change.
Uphill battle now. They pivot out. Hayes follows his blocks. Crunched at the 30, and that draws some oohs and ahs from the home crowd here in Albuquerque. Christian Ellis combining with Devin Brandt Epps on the hit.
Go back to that fourth down call that set up the scoring drive for New Mexico. You saw the timing off all the way. Credit New Mexico for getting that penetration on the interior that jostled it from the beginning. You and I both agreed. Right call, maybe wrong play. They had an easy time getting those 4th and 1 QB sneaks all night long. I was surprised they didn't go back to the well on that.
This is Cade Harris in motion. Just the first man through, he moves the chains. And we felt that way because it feels like a break of serve. Whether it happened with a stop and a punt or a 4th down stonewalling there, the result given New Mexico's offense, pretty much the same.
You've seen through the course of the first half. I know people always have these analytics discussions of 4th down, but part of this is the feel of the game, too. You've seen if you're Troy Calhoun, Devin Dampier scored, whether it's a short field, long field, you don't want to give them any more cracks at it than you have to. And so using those 4th and 1 opportunities, it's like 11 at the blackjack table. I'm going to hit every time.
And Quentin Hayes has definitely given this offense a new element. They've got a chance to score their season high in points tonight and to do it against Mountain West competition. Papai with the stop there. 21 against Merrimack in their opener is so far the high water mark, but this is more game film to build off of for Quentin Hayes, and that's not to say that he can't lead them down the field and get them back in this game early in the second half.
They had only had one scoring drive of 7+ minutes on the season coming into tonight. This has looked much more par for what we've been used to over the last few years from this Troy Calhoun Air Force.
Hayes gets the back. He does take the handoff. And he just drills up near first down yardage. Needed 6, maybe 5 there on the game. Brandt Epps with another stop.
Great kick out by Michael McCanich, the guard pulling on a little trap on the inside. And I think that's when they've been at their best tonight. Outside of that first drive where they were getting pushed up the middle like it was their job, get these pullers on the move, whether it's the tosses on the perimeter, quarterback counter, or some inside trap as they get up for 3rd and short here. I'd go back to the well on that. You've been able to let the big dogs eat in the inside here too, not just the cotton candy.
Good callback. Much better on the QB keeper there. He's been stood up a couple of times, but they cave in the left side of that line and push him to first down yardage.
Now you're getting in territory again where they've let Quentin Hayes throw it a couple of times. This would be a good spot right at midfield, plenty of space to maybe earn that opportunity again. But I'm with you. What he's provided them is speed at the quarterback position. I think in the triple option offense, you've got to have a guy that can really threaten perimeter defenders to open everything else up. And John Boucher, listen, he's done a lot of things well for this team, but I just don't think athletically he was gifted enough to threaten them in the ways that Hayes has.
There's Latham in motion. You called it. Vertical. Incomplete.
And you know what? If I was thinking it, Clearly, Nick Howell, the defensive coordinator for New Mexico, also making sure his guys were aware. Credit to this back end. They did a great job. Cam Watts back for this game, stride for stride with the Air Force receiver. Both of them back there forcing a tough throw from Hayes.
Rosno's getting a good dose here in this third quarter at receiver, as they may be forced to open it up a bit. Second down to the full chains.
You're in 4-down territory now, though, so this is really like first down for most teams, especially at midfield.
When Allen gets a turn in the backfield, good decision. More ball handling from the quarterback, but the Lobos string it out. They knock Latham for a loss.
Cam Watts coming up with another play there. Last time down the field as a pass defender. And this time we've talked about all night, the one area I think where the cut blocking rules affect defense or affect this Air Force offense the most is on the perimeter. Cade Harris used to be able to throw at the knees of a guy like Cam Watts. Now sprinting full speed, making big plays. We've seen this Lobos back end able to do that freely all night.
9-minute mark in the third. Big third down here for Air Force. Can they pick up 11 or give themselves a chance on fourth down? Instead, they cough it up, and the Lobos are there to pounce. They begin the half with the takeaway on downs, and now they recover a fumble. Dimitri Johnson with the celebration.
That ability to threaten the edge, get the ball downfield, all of it is superseded by the ability to go out and manage this offense. And we see, just like when you see the spread option, that read option in the gun, it's managing that mesh point with the fullback. But when you have to do it under center, JB, most teams in the gun, you've got time and room. Under center, you're making those split-second decisions with a lot more bodies around you. And so when he goes to try and pull that ball out, there's way more force, tough angles that he's working with, and now the ball ends up on the mat.
Mayava Peters motioning out, and the starting quarterback throwing it to him. So a couple of signal callers there. Soldier, who played at BYU and won a bowl game at BYU as a quarterback, on the receiving end from Dampier.
The first BYU quarterback to make and win his first game in a bowl game. Ironically enough, the 2022 New Mexico Bowl against SMU. So, nice little homecoming.
Couldn't have scripted it any better. He just rushed for a touchdown. Now on 2nd and 4. Turned away. A 0, maybe a loss of 1 there.
Credit to this New Mexico offense tonight. Coming into this game, 18th in the country with 8 plays of 40-plus yards. They have been a big splash play factory. And in that first half, they only had 2 plays of 21 yards. They had subsisted a lot more on steady offense, as they've got, I think, too many Air Force defenders on the field to get free play here.
There is a flag down as Dampier drops it in the bucket to Trujillo. Jim Minch a distributor. He doesn't need to be on platform to make on-target throws.
And that's great recognition. He sees too many Air Force defenders on the field and knows he's got an opportunity to go down. Trujillo does a good job adjusting to that. And then let it fly with great ball placement. I think Devin Dampier really does throw a quality deep ball.
Illegal substitution on the defense. That penalty would decline. The result of the play is a catch and a first down.
We see in the NFL all the time, Aaron Rodgers famous at drawing the offsides, but it's all about recognition at the quarterback position to steal those free plays, hit a big shot, and now get back down in the red zone where quarterback run has made defending really difficult for Air Force and Brian Norris' unit all night.
Coming off the fumble recovery, New Mexico trying to convert their takeaway into a touchdown. Direct snap to Mayava Peters, and Air Force sells out against it. Nice play by Tuioti Mariner. He there as well, -3.
Great job forcing penetration. They've now gotten used to that package with Soldier at quarterback now, and so for Jason Beck, who's been able to go back to the well on a lot of plays that have worked over and over again. Got to go to that next one down on the call sheet as Air Force having some success getting upfield on defense.
Eli Sanders in the backfield for Dampier. And the few times that the Lobos have been knocked off schedule offensively. At the mesh point, this is Dampier. Runs out of room. It'll be 3rd and long in the red zone.
Air Force on this drive, the penalty for too many guys on field. That play, you saw the linebackers yelling at the D-line, trying to get them aligned the right way. They're having some issues right now getting aligned against some of the different formations that New Mexico's throwing out there. You need one guy out of place with a quarterback of this caliber to all of a sudden be looking at them striking up the band.
Sanders stays in the game at the tailback. Third down, the Lobos need 10 to extend this possession. Look to the sideline, and now to his play sheet. 4 to snap it for Dampier. And before he can, timeout, Mendenhall.
Huge opportunity for Air Force here on defense as they get a minute to collect themselves. As we mentioned before, getting deep in the well puts Air Force completely out of the game plan, a very specific game script that we know these academies have to win with. And especially with the change of quarterback that they made going into tonight right now, we've seen a couple of mistakes at critical junctures. The 4th down turnover on downs there, putting the ball on the mat. This defense, if they can come away and even hold them to 3 right here, huge for the confidence of this team that really, from the moment we hit go on the second half, you had the penalty on the shot play that would have scored a touchdown in the first play of the second half, called back because of the hold. It's been one blemish after another, self-inflicted wounds for this Air Force team.
Dampier ready, and now he's got Javen Jacobs with him. Also Isaiah Silliman as a tight end in a 2-point stance there to his left. Dampier has to reload. Checks it down to the sideline. It's going to be 4th down, and let's see what the Lobos want to do after that catch by Jacobs.
Big time hit to stand him up on the perimeter, though. Caught that with some space. Dampier's able to wiggle through the pressure up front as they're going to send the field goal unit out there now.
Udrezwicki, his 3rd season as the Lobos place kicker, converting about 71% of his attempts. This will be a 24-yarder from that right hash. Clean operation, and he splits the uprights with 5:37 remaining in the third. A fumble recovery leads to a field goal. So tack on 3 for New Mexico and go back to work on the cotton candy.
Home crowd hungry for a win. Well on their way.
This kid can try it.
The IS. When did it begin for you?
Look at that Wendy's breakfast burrito. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, sausage. Gotta hand it to the tortilla. That sucker's holding on for dear life. The boss of breakfast, gotta be Wendy's.
Ready, set, spark. With Rose Sparks, you get the active ingredient in Viagra, but faster. Why? Under the tongue dissolvables hit your bloodstream more quickly compared to pills, which means less waiting and more doing. Sparks also contain the active ingredient in Cialis for long-lasting results, so you can go an extra lap. With ingredients for fast results that last, there's Rose Sparks. See if Sparks are right for you at ro.co/sparks.
The world ain't set up for the honest man to succeed. America's a hustle. It'll eat you alive if you let it. Not that I'm complaining.
The Penguin, streaming exclusively on Max.
Look at that! That's a doorway!
Wednesday.
This is an opening!
Petra's secrets.
Here we go!
Will be revealed.
Oh my god!
New Expedition Unknown. Wednesday at 9 on Discovery.
NHL on TNT. We are back. You may want to buckle up.
Come on, guys! Yeah, baby! Here we go!
Oh, what a holy jumping. This place is going to explode.
I'm jazzed up, ready to go.
TNT Sports on True TV has you covered.
And away we go.
We bring you the games, get you in the know, and keep you in the middle of the action. TNT Sports on True TV, your new destination for sports moments, starting every night at 6 Eastern.
This election, follow the best political team in the business. Follow the insights from the world's top journalists. Follow CNN. Back in Albuquerque, the Lobos to kick it off following a 24-yard field goal to extend their lead. A line drive kick is going to land in the end zone. That gives us a chance to see what Bridget is up to. Bridget?
Yeah, you guys showed cotton candy on the screen, and I'm a magnet to sweets, right? I'm here with Carlos, who just got himself this nice cotton candy treat. To put it in perspective for you, I'm 5'2", so I know I'm not that tall, but I mean, this thing is pretty tall right here, and we've got even more cotton candy. These kids are going to be on a sugar high, I think. Carlos, can I have some of this cotton candy? Can I have a bite?
Oh, there we go. Get in on the action. That's got to be 10 feet of cotton candy. That's insane.
Guys, it's good. It's really hard to eat. I haven't eaten cotton candy in a while.
Wow, to eat cotton candy clean on camera. Bridget, flawless execution.
This is pretty good, guys. This is really good.
Put that on the end.
Even our cameraman's having some. This is high quality. You want to take a bite?
We've got roster listing at 5'4" on Bridget, by the way, so I don't know what she's talking about there. She needs to give herself credit for a couple more.
Seriously, take the added height where you can get it.
First down run for Gist.
Especially when you're stacked up to. I mean, this looks like Guinness World Record length with cotton candy. We got a player down right now for Air Force after they move the chains to start this drive.
That's Cade Harris on the 40-yard line. The senior from Utah. With 4:51 to go in the third, we'll step aside as they attend to Cade Harris.
I was born with wings, but psoriasis swooped in to clip them.
It crushed my confidence. It kept me in the shadows.
But no longer will psoriasis get a piece of me. With Bimzelx, I can't wait to say, I'm back.
I'm back.
I'm back. I can love my skin again.
Only Bimzelx targets and blocks IL-17A plus F to calm inflammation.
I can control my plaques and start getting myself back.
Bimzelx helps adults with moderate to severe psoriasis control plaques to deliver clearer skin fast for results that last.
I will give myself back the freedom of shorts.
Dare to wear black again, from head to toe.
Most people got 100% clear skin.
Some after the first dose.
Serious side effects, including suicidal thoughts and behavior, infections, and lowered ability to fight them, liver problems, and inflammatory bowel disease have occurred. Tell your doctor if these happen or worsen, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to.
Start to get yourself back.
Ask your dermatologist about Bimzelx.
Pro-level performance at work and at home. Right now, save $50 on the VGA 57 battery blower. Real STIHL. Find yours.
What if you could look forward 1 year, 4 years, 40 years? What does the future look like? How will you ignite it? This is where the future gets fueled, where ideas come to life and identities flourish. This is where we define opportunity as individuals and as a pack. Being a Lobo is about so much more than the classes you take. It's about the mark you make on your world. Because the journey starts here, but it never ends. What will you ignite?
Only home game here in the month of October for the Lobos, trying to make the most of it and pick up their first home victory. Put together back-to-back W's. There's Cade Harris out of the medical tent. He was leaving the field injured when we stepped aside. Got right nostril plugged up. Ready to get back in there after this play. Dylan Carson takes his place for 1st and 10 for the Falcons. On the option, a low pitch. Caden Cloud had to go down to get it, and the junior from Gilbert, Arizona, barely back to the line of scrimmage.
Tough we mentioned all these different ball carriers. They call it staying in phase, that normal distance from quarterback to pitchman in that relation. That time you saw probably closer to 6-7 yards on that play than the normal 4-5. and because of that, the timing a little bit off on the pitch.
Still no Harris for this second down and 10. Cloud the motion man. Quentin Hayes with flags down. As it stands, it'll be 3rd and long. Cam Watts holding that edge. He's a Texas Tech graduate, finishing up his career here at New Mexico. Michael Catone is our referee.
Yeah, it looks like holding on the edge here again. Unfortunately, it's Bruin Fleischman again. This time, Dimitri Johnson, the linebacker, getting great penetration upfield.
Number 88 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Lobos will accept that penalty and give the down back.
And remember, Fleischman, unfortunately, the guy who got called for holding on the opening play of the second half, where Air Force throws for touchdown on a QB rollout, and that time similar action. But again, this New Mexico defense, we talked about it. Your game script as a defense, the call sheet is really pared down, and so it's on these guys to go read their keys and make plays. He got upfield and was able to get on an edge for that tight end and create a negative play.
See Harris returning to the lineup for 2nd and 20. Hayes on the toss. Out to Cloud. And cut down about the 33-yard line. You talk to defensive coaches about defending the triple option. And there's the initial shock, right? As you try and adjust and settle into something that you just don't spend most of the year preparing for. But then in the middle portion of the game, oftentimes teams make those adjustments and get some stops. That feels like where we are in this phase of the game for the Lobos.
And especially in this day and age where you've got those tablets on the sideline where you can get a look at the plays being run in between series and nail in more on what wrinkles these offenses are hitting you with.
3rd down and 14. Hayes to the air. Hit as he throws. That's complete. A yard shy of the line to gain, but Quinn Smith reels it in and gives them a chance to go for it on 4th down.
Yep, obvious go territory for these guys. The quarterback sneak has worked. We talked about them getting disrupted on the toss before, but how about Quentin Hayes standing in, taking the hit in the pocket, and delivering a strike just short of the sticks.
Tyson Taylor in sticky coverage. They had to earn it there. Gist is the fullback. 4th down, and I gotta have it one here for the Falcons. They'll option to it. On the pitch. Latham. Denied. And turned away on his second effort. It's another stop on downs for this New Mexico defense.
And JB, yet another 4th down play call where everything's far too east and west for this Air Force offense. The penetration upfield initially throws everything off, but again, look at Cam Watts out there, number 18, fighting at the point of attack on the perimeter. That's been the story of the night. You've got all these blockers out there, and when you're able to go and hold that edge on the perimeter, force the running back inside with all those guys rallying to the football, they've won the physical matchup on the perimeter in this game. And it's gone a long way. Again, you and I talked about it. Quarterback sneak's been your friend. The dive up the middle's been your friend with some of these big fullbacks here. I don't like them going to the perimeter and giving this defense a chance to flatten them out.
2.5 to go now in the 3rd. Dampier has a chance to put it out of reach. So elusive. No wonder he hadn't been sacked coming in. Off-schedule completion to Trace Bruckler. And a gain of half the chains.
That's what we've been waiting all night to see. That, to me, is where he's at his most special. I haven't seen a scrambler as prolific as he is, especially with still keeping his eyes downfield to make big plays. He helps that offensive line out. A lot of times quarterbacks like that can put you in bad positions. This group up front understands a little extra strain, going to go a long way in making big plays.
Lobos flip the strength and then throw to that side. Just a one-receiver pattern, and Caleb Medford moves the chains as we look at what New Mexico has done. Really, since opening the game with a 3-and-out, they've been unstoppable.
It's been an absolute buzzsaw on offense. You saw why that last play there. They can get big, load up, and look like run. But when you've got these RPOs, run-pass options on every play, it allows them to take advantage of the cushion on the outside.
Dampier hands it off. Eli Sanders takes off. Touchdown, Lobos. And deep in the 3rd, that may be the dagger. 31 yards to Paters.
Watch the great block from the right tackle, Wallace Anamba, helping capture the edge on this defense. Gets just enough, gets his hips around the outside, hands in the middle, and let's go just in time. That official's got a great look at it. Didn't see any grabbing on the cloth. And with running backs like they have, weapons in the backfield with this much speed, you just need to get a piece to let them get that edge and get home.
45 now on the board for the Lobos, and I think we need to talk at length about what they've done up front. I mean, this is an entirely new offensive line. They went out and got 16 offensive linemen. 11 offensive linemen have played. How about the work that Famika Anai, the position coach, and Mendenhall and his staff have done to put them in this explosive position?
Famika Anai, someone who has a lot of familiarity with Bronco Mendenhall, played for him at BYU, but also his father, Robert Anai, a longtime assistant of Bronco Mendenhall going back through to Virginia. So someone who he's seen grow up, and that's kind of the theme for Bronco Mendenhall and the way he built out his staff. So many of these guys, 8 of the 10 full-time assistants, former players for Bronco Mendenhall. And even a guy like Famika, someone who's been around for so much of this journey, it gives them a great understanding of what Bronco's looking at every step of the way in team building. And so they come in and they know the standard that they're going to set in that offensive line room right away. And I can tell you, as someone that went through a coaching change on the offensive line, having someone in there to shepherd you through who understands and sees the vision in a way that aligns with the head coach goes a long way in simplifying our jobs. That, and of course, having Devin Dampier in the backfield.
You know, second from the left there, Beckett. He's the starting left guard. Pro Football Focus has him as the best pass-blocking guard in the Mountain West. Where was he last year? Campbell. I didn't know about the Campbell. They're from Bowie's Creek, North Carolina. That's where Anai was, and that's where some key pieces of this offense have really come from. It's incredible, including the Kari Rogers, who had the breakout performance on the ground 2 weeks ago against New Mexico State.
The Campbell effect in Albuquerque,
there you go,
is very real. And yeah, that group up front, again, the goose egg, we joked about it in the first half, and we talked to Jason Beck about it. Do you treat that lack of sacks allowed sort of like a no-hitter in baseball? And he said, yes, mind your tone. They yelled at their SID for putting it in the media guide notes. But even with that out of the way right now, it just underscores this group has been so tremendous, and I think that starts when you've got a quarterback that can affect the game with his ground, on the ground.
Back to the option, and this time Hayes keeps it. But the point you make about familiarity within the coaching ranks, that he hires his own former players, that seems so important given the challenges that Bronco Mendenhall takes on, whether it's BYU, whether it's UVA, certainly whether it was coming back to New Mexico.
Yeah, a place he had familiarity with as an assistant way back when. He's a guy that likes challenges. He relishes the opportunity. Remember, he took 2 years away from coaching after he left the Virginia job. Him and his wife went and hung out in their ranch in Montana and sort of took in life as empty nesters. And when he decided he wanted to come back, he wanted to challenge the likes of what New Mexico has presented, and he wanted familiar faces with him to help do it.
Hayes still stacking reps with that toss to Rocco Conti. We'll save this for the fourth quarter, but one of the things I think we need to talk about next is the upcoming schedule for the Lobos. How they were dealt a favorable hand because they don't have to face Boise State or UNLV, the top 2 teams in this league. And so right now in the meat of their schedule, in this 6-game rip through the Mountain West, they're seeing nothing but parity, and they've got some good momentum.
And I think their record right now, a bit of a misnomer considering the fact that they've played 2 Power 4 teams in Arizona and Auburn, and gone out and, by the way, executed at a high level against them at certain junctures as well.
Could be the final play of the third. A play fake. And a throw to the flats. Wow, are they playing downhill on defense or what? Noah Abinger tackling everything that moves. And after 3, it's 45-17 New Mexico with whistles and flags.
An incredible physical effort from the back end of this New Mexico defense. Nick Howell's group understood the challenge tonight, stepped up to the plate. Bobby Arnold down in the second half. And all we've seen is Noah Abinger and the rest of this group, Cam Watts, step up to the plate, make some big hits against that final leg of the triple option, the pitch man.
You know, there is that third phase of the game when you're playing the option, which is you settle in, you get some stops, but then are you disciplined enough to carry it through 4 quarters? Fortunately for this defense, even though they're still putting good reps on the field, the score may make it such that it shouldn't matter in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely, when all of a sudden you've got Air Force dropping back to pass for.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 13 of the defense, brandishing a weapon, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And it's Bryson Taylor with the foul.
That's the end of the third quarter.
About the only thing that can stop the Lobos on either side of the ball tonight.
Why did we choose Safelight? We're always working on a project while loading up our SUV. One extra push and crack. So we scheduled at Safelight.com. We were able to track our technician and knew exactly when he'd arrive. We could keep working. Safelight came to us.
Hi, I'm Kendrick.
With a replacement we could trust. That's service the way we want it.
Schedule free mobile service now at Safelight.com.
Safelight Repair, Safelight Replace.
Me and Daddy met when we were teenagers. We were both working here, and it was right there in that kitchen where Mommy and Daddy fell in love. So if they're bringing back the original recipe, then you know it's gonna be good.
Our original recipe is back. Churches. What you looking at, babe?
Cars on cars.com.
What's wrong with this one?
I just got promoted, so I'm looking for something more. Ciao.
Ciao.
2 million cars for 2 million possibilities. Cars.com. Where to next?
And here we go. Consumer Cellular uses the same towers as Big Wireless, but then passes the savings on to you.
So I get the same fast nationwide coverage if I switch?
Yep. For unlimited talk and text with reliable coverage starting at just $20, call Consumer Cellular.
The future is threatened by enemies often unpredictable. When there are battles to win for America's future, there is one constant: Marines.
NHL on TNT. We are back. You may want to buckle up. Come on, guys. Yeah, baby. Here we go. Oh, what a holy jumping. This place is going to explode.
I'm jazzed up, ready to go.
Power is not given. It's taken.
Give me that power. Give me that
Step up and call your shot.
Power-packed postseason baseball.
Show me what it feels like.
There is some going on between Tammy and me.
Why are you giving me that look? This was what I was talking about.
Get out of my house.
She's done crossed too many lines and I'm over it.
All new 1,000-Pound Sisters, Tuesday at 9 on TLC.
Utah State must protect their home turf.
Putting on a show here today.
When Devin Dampier leads New Mexico into Aggie Country. Next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific on True TV and Max.
At the outset of the fourth quarter here in Albuquerque, here's what's to come for the Lobos of New Mexico. We mentioned this is their only home game of the month at Utah State. A game you can see right here on True TV and Max. And then at Colorado State, the Rams a winner today earlier on True TV and Max against San Jose State. So a free first down for Air Force to begin the fourth quarter after the penalty against the Lobos. Top shelf, incomplete. Cade Harris returning to the game, but Quentin Hayes, who's taken every snap at quarterback, unable to connect.
You have no free lunches in the passing game now for Air Force. You're well behind in the score, and so this New Mexico defense has been on top of the details all night. Now they know to expect the pass, especially when it comes for 21.
John Boucher there on the sideline, had been their starter through 5 games. Today a changeup, and it's Hayes. And I think regardless of what happens in this fourth quarter, there are enough steps forward to feel like they can move forward with Hayes, don't you?
Absolutely. I think you've seen a lot of good stuff. That's why this fourth quarter, despite the fact that you're down 28 points at this juncture, you've got to go out here and still rep the core elements of your offense. For Air Force, this is about stacking quality reps like you mentioned, so you have something to build on in the coming weeks.
Yeah, it sounds cliche, but this is full-speed practice for their next game, is it not? When they host Colorado State. Off the play fake, alone in the flat. There's Harris. See if he can make one miss. He sure did. A little slow motion move, and very effective.
Great job there off the toss fake at the beginning of that one, so he gets the roll back and the throwback to Cade Harris, who, we saw go into the injury tent before. He's been back out there, and he's been a blocker. He's been a guy that's carried it out of the backfield and now getting to show off the quicks in the open field.
A gain of 24. This drive given new life by the personal foul penalty at the end of the third. Let's see if the Falcons can cash it in. Dylan Carson just pushing the pile, and he's still not done. Finally, they blow it dead inside the 20-yard line. Carson's a great story. Despite leading the state of Washington in rushing yards and putting up 46 touchdowns as a senior, no scholarship offers until Air Force came in a week before signing day.
Had back-to-back 100-yard rushing games at the start of last season against Boise State and UNLV. He's a guy with some definite ability in this offense, like you said, now that they've laid a foundation that looks more solid going forward.
There's another pre-snap look from this Air Force offense. On the toss, Rocco Conti the carry, but a good job of tackling again for the Lobos. That's been a highlight tonight for this UNM defense. Dimitri Johnson gets him to the ground.
Got great perimeter tackling from that entire group, and we mentioned those guys on the outside. You've got a big offensive line body in Nathan Elwood coming at you, but you maintain the edge, you force the ball carrier back inside to where the rest of your defenders are. This is something we haven't seen as much with Quentin Hayes, him in the shotgun.
2 plays, if necessary, to get these 4 yards. This will be the 9th play of the drive, as you see. And it's all quarterback. Straight up the middle. And a new season-high point total for the Falcons. Quentin Hayes with a rushing touchdown.
They always say it's a copycat league, but right down here, the same play that New Mexico ran for Sol-J Mayaba Peters when he was in at Wildcat on the other side, they run here. You get that motion out of the backfield to get another defender out of the box. Right there you see 33, Randolph Kapai running out of the box, so you now have a defender out of there. You buy another blocker because you've got the quarterback as an add in the run game, and it gives them that edge going opposite the motion for an easy touchdown.
So last week, his first career passing touchdown. Tonight, his first rushing touchdown. DePore puts it through. And it's an onside. That makes its way out of bounds. And Troy Calhoun hoping for the element of surprise there.
Because this isn't the NFL where they've robbed us of that.
That's right. Trey Williams, I think, had a shot at it, but it spills out of bounds.
Tried to bat it back in bounds, you saw. Give one of his guys a chance. Just football's a sport with a weird-shaped ball. We all know that. Nowhere is that more evident than any attempt at an onside kick. It's an incredible art.
Kickoff out of bounds. Number 96 of the kicking team. 5-yard penalty. It will be first down.
Again, whether it was the fourth down decisions or even that card that he played there, I can't fault the decision-making at all from this Air Force coaching staff. The execution has just unfortunately been lacking for them tonight.
When you know going into a game you're dealing with a talent and experience deficit in a lot of ways, and we know this Air Force roster has been green in so many areas, I think you've got to take some of those swings in a couple of different ways. One, to try and stay within the flow of the game, but two, to also show your team you've got confidence in them to go out there and make plays. Both of these coaches understand, because they've been around and at it for a long time, the importance of staying process-oriented, how to develop these guys over the long run. And very few people have as good an idea of that as Troy Calhoun, the fourth longest tenured head coach in college football at his current school.
I mean, I loved his reaction to, hey, how's the 4-game losing streak treating you? It's been a tough tumble, right, from their 8-0 start last year. He's said, look, we're not moody people. We're not highly reactionary individuals here at Air Force.
Which is what you want, by the way. The same reason I want doctors to go to school for 7 years is the same reason I love hearing that the players and coaches at the academies are that steady hand. And you see right here, both of these teams at or near the top in Air Force's case for first-time starters who have made their debut in an Air Force uniform this season. It's been a tremendous challenge for a place you saw last year, had the benefit of so much experience, a mature roster, able to go out and perform as well as they did before the quarterback injury and that 4-game losing skid to end the season.
You mentioned his tenure. How about the nugget that it's longer than the rest of the Mountain West coaches combined in a league that has 8 new head coaches?
8 first-time coaches in the Mountain West this season, in a season where they've been the star of college football in so many ways, from the conference realignment conversation to UNLV and Boise State in the college football playoff conversation. Ashton Jeanty is the Heisman frontrunner right now. It's been a big year for this conference, and Air Force has usually been one of the teams at or near the top. They were picked 4th to start the season in the polls. But Troy Calhoun understands it's a unique challenge at this particular university. Because they're government employees, there can't be NIL involved in this. They can't make use of the transfer portal, and so they don't have all the same tools that everyone else has. They've really got to take a long-term view of roster development around this program.
That 4th place placement, probably a bit aggressive, unrealistic given what we know now. But how about New Mexico at 11th? They've got a chance to really overachieve.
Yeah, it was amazing talking to Bronco Mendenhall, to Jason Beck, and even Nick Howell.
4th down and a pile more. Let's see if he can finish. Knocked out at the 15.
All right, let's check out the little wrinkle at the start of this play right here. Motion going away, and yeah, we get the pulling guard kicking out on that side. For a quarterback lead run, we've seen some counters and different wrinkles. That time we'd call that G. So you just pull the front side guard to kick out a man there. Usually that's a handoff to the running back, but again, buy yourself an extra blocker by making that ball carrier the quarterback, and he breaks it for a great game.
52, in fact, as we hit the 9-minute mark. Now on the give, Kemper Hodges barrels down to the 10. Did I see quarterback trap on your timeline from Army today?
Oh, man, a thing of beauty. And that really underscores it's similar timing on this play to where as a defense, you're not quite used to some of the footwork you get if your eyes get caught in the backfield and the timing of these plays hitting a little quicker because the quarterback's doing it from a shallower depth just coming off the line of scrimmage.
Once again, first man through, rumbling for a touchdown. Kemper Hodges, the sophomore, has his first.
Kudos to Navy for finishing. We talked about these are not guys that are going to respond emotionally. For Josh Johnson, he's got a great chance to come in and show he can man the helm on this offense. And just tough running that we've become accustomed to these fullbacks. And again, Troy Calhoun, the head coach, also coaches that fullback room. So rest assured, if you're a guy in that room, you don't want to be in a meeting with the head man the next week, not giving great effort in the fourth quarter, even down a big score.
Matthew DePore drills another. That's why it's always a privilege to cover a Service Academy and Air Force playing through the fourth, stacking blocks. They got a long way to go, but this has been a breakthrough night on offense.
Dude, you're looking ice cold.
You look ice cold, bro.
Guys, somebody's coming. Somebody's coming.
Let's do it.
There comes a day
When I'll be the one
you dream. It's gonna be me.
Dude, are you crying?
Have you had your Hershey's? At Domino's, we're all about cheesy, so you know we had to make our new 5-cheese mac and cheese the crave-worthiest, cheesiest pasta possible. Just like all of our mouth-watering oven-baked pastas. But try one for yourself, including our new 5-cheese mac and cheese next time you order at Domino's.
NHL on TNT. We are back. You may want to buckle up. Come on, guys. Yeah, baby. Here we go. Oh, what a holy jumping. This place is going to explode.
I'm jazzed up, ready to go.
Power is not given. It's taken.
Give me that power.
Step up and call your shot.
Power-packed postseason baseball.
Show me what it feels like.
There is some going on between Tammy and me.
Why are you giving me that look? This was what I was talking
Get out of my house.
She's done crossed too many lines and I'm over it.
All new 1,000-Pound Sisters, Tuesday at 9 on TLC.
Hey, ladies, need a ride? There's room on my mom's lap.
Are we doing this? Hell yeah, we're doing this.
Take off!
Stop!
American Dad, all new October 28th on TBS.
From around the Mountain West, UNLV continues its great season on Friday night. Earlier today on True TV and Max, you saw Colorado State get a victory, 31-24 over San Jose State. And another final from Wyoming, San Diego State, a field goal winner there. How about these late scores, Mike? We'll get you more of those in just a moment. Cover the kickoff first after Air Force failed on its first onside try. Here's another. And this will also get to the sideline. All right, so back to Washington State 16-14 in Fresno and Oregon State 24-21 at the end of 3 in Reno.
Both in shouting distance of the Pac-2 that had the scheduling agreement with the Mountain West. And then how about the nightcap here? Get a chance to look at the best running back, and you could argue right now the best player in college football, the Heisman frontrunner Ashton Jeanty, who's been sensational, leading the nation in rushing touchdowns. You name it, he's done it so far. An untacklable force of nature's fury. Already set the Mountain West record for 70-plus yard runs on the season. As dynamic a player as college football has right now and calls this conference home, you knew his name coming into the season, but early matchups against Oregon and the way that he handled that are going a long way towards a really viable Heisman campaign.
First play of a new drive for the Lobos. Mayava Peters fumbles. Looks like New Mexico is on it to maintain possession. By the way, it's my responsibility to speak up for the Broncos defense of Boise State. They also deserve some love. 4.2 sacks per game to lead college football.
One of the many jobs in the Mountain West where you've got a head coach in his first year with that school, but coming in and inheriting a team that certainly knows how to win at an incredibly high level. Boise State's been one of the faces of this conference for a long time, but having a player like that, we talked about the effect Dampier has on an offensive line. You see so many plays where Boise State's offensive line's good, but Jeanty gets contacted at or behind the line of scrimmage, just bounces off guys. It's like the same end of two magnets hitting together. You just can't bring them down.
Dampier wasn't empty there, but he did hand off, and it goes for a loss. One other thought on Boise State, 4-1 going into tonight. Their only loss, last-second field goal at Oregon. Eugene was hosting game day today. The Ducks are good. It's a pretty good resume.
They've been in a dogfight with Ohio State through 2 quarters of that game as well. I mean, I think for Boise State, obviously the conversation different this year because there's a college football playoff spot codified, up for grabs. The highest-ranked Group of 5 conference champion gets a spot into the dance. Boise State sitting at 17 in the AP poll, which we know doesn't matter. The College Football Playoff Committee will organize their rankings regardless of that. But they're in the driver's seat for that spot, so it keeps the conference in the conversation nationally longer, and it keeps Jeanty in the conversation selfishly for those Heisman desires as well.
Dashing down the hashes, Javen Jacob picks up a new first down. Houston Hendricks with the hit from the third level of that Air Force defense.
See now if this New Mexico offense gets another chance to practice a different phase of the game called 4-minute offense, where you're in the huddle, you usually break in around 10 seconds, you get to the line of scrimmage, you want to snap the ball around 3, really milk the clock and end the game on your terms, but that all starts up front, setting a physical tone. You always relish that opportunity. As an offensive lineman, this is where on the sideline, they're putting the game on you to finish it the way that we want to.
I have a substitution issue here, unfortunately, Mike.
Timeout. New Mexico.
Initially, they had brought Vincent
half.
Santos, a 280-pound tight end, into a jumbo set. He's my second favorite Lobo. Isaiah Silliman, 38, is still near and dear to my heart. But
my favorite part of this meeting that we had over the weekend was Jason Beck, the offensive coordinator, who had a stop at Syracuse after his time at Virginia. And he mentioned, we asked him about Isaiah Silliman and about that position. He said, we call it the Rhino. And that ticked off something to me because I remember covering Syracuse for a guy named Chris Elmore, who you look at the height, weight, size comparison.
We surprised you here, Golick. We had to add you to this graphic because you never got reps like these. You were just the interior offensive lineman.
And I'm not going to lie, I was probably closer weight-wise to what Chris Elmore was. 6'4", though, I'll have you guys know. But Chris Elmore, this unique character at Syracuse that starts off as a two-way player, is playing defensive line and fullback for them, moves to offensive line in 2020 because of some deficiencies at that position, low on the body count, and then moves to fullback and tight end for the last couple of years. But his nickname was the Rhino. And so when Jason Beck came out here and found this unique body type in Isaiah Silliman, they nicknamed the position the Rhino. It's my favorite callback of college football season so far to one of the most unique players in the sport over the last 5 years.
Nakari Rogers through the right side. And look, far be it for me to suggest play calls to Jason Beck, but I'll be watching New Mexico football the rest of the schedule, and at some point I need a target for Silliman. Just to keep defenses honest, you got to throw him one.
You got to make him a credible threat because when he's in there a lot, he's basically a 6th offensive lineman. You go back to the New Mexico State game, and it bought them an extra guy in pass protection a lot for Dampier. But you've seen him in the backfield now as a lead blocker. At some point when you get down by the goal line, you've got to do me the favor of a thick 6. The big man score, offensive or defensive lineman getting into the end zone. That man absolutely counts regardless of the number of the body type. Screams thick 6, and he deserves that chance to go and get the validation Bronco Mendenhall's talked about.
That's Bruckler there, receiving tight end in motion on another handoff here. It's one thing to play 11 on 11, to change the math because you have such a weapon running the football at quarterback. But then when you can create additional gaps, what a nightmare for defenses.
It's the name of the game. It's what Air Force and the triple option have done for years. And it's what we've seen now in college football, going back, this is a decade plus now. The advent of the spread coming up from high school, putting great athletes like Dampier at quarterback who are also gifted passers and allowing them to go and be a human check down. It used to be you had pocket passers and they would look and they would find the running back or the tight end short out of the backfield. Now these guys can call their own numbers in a way that completely changes what defenses have to account for. And so it's such an incredible value add for this team. And not only to have one, but two of those guys. We talked about Soljay Maiava-Peters all night long. But having multiple players with those unique skill sets, it's always been what Bronco and Jason Beck have loved as an offense.
They will QB run here. That's surprising with the game on ice. They put Dampier in Harden's way, or maybe he did it to himself, but it's 4th down. And this is another step in the process for the Lobos, finishing games.
I think he kept this. We talk about how he helps out his offensive line to clean up a little bit for one of their pulling offensive linemen that just tripped and fell on the play. You see right here, Richard Pierce, one of your captains, the big fella coming from that side, just gets his feet tangled up. And so Devin Dampier sees the mess, cleans it up, and helps out his guys. That's one where after the play, you go, hey, thanks for the help. Don't ever do that again when we're up this big.
Seriously,
we need you for the long haul.
His choice were to hand it to Jacobs and let him run into his own offensive guard, or just take that himself and set up 4th and 4.
Playmaking instinct doesn't go away just because they're up big.
See if they can finish this game on offense. Instead, incomplete, and they'll give it to the Falcons. One of the few misses on the night for Devin Dampier with a 52-31 cushion.
Even that I'll take, though, because that's the smart play when you give him the two-way go. Hey, you're looking for a potential home run play to finish him off on 4th down there. And if not, you don't want your quarterback. Normally, that'd be a spot where two-way go. If this is normal downs and distances, the game's within reach. And there, you don't want him taking any unnecessary hits. He gets the ball out of his hands. Again, we talk about it. This is a guy that's played a lot of football before this season. And so that kind of maturity in those situations, to me, again, it's a small thing. We might be reaching at the end of the game, but I look at that as a positive for a guy that isn't the biggest guy in the world.
And you saw he's keeping some pretty elite company in terms of his dual threat prowess now. Through just a half dozen starts as a collegiate. Josh Johnson in, and he hits a vertical shot down to the 40-yard line. Quinn Smith high points the football. It's a new career best catch for him. Back-to-back weeks now.
Great job off the play-action sell. You hit the post going over to the middle of the field and give him a chance to go up for the jump ball. We've seen so many of these balls going off the fingertips of receivers. A great job there, boxing out, using his size, and making a great hands catch.
29-yard reception last week, 31 deep into this night as we approach the 3-minute mark. Saw Quentin Hayes get the start at quarterback. Now Josh Johnson out of the bullpen. Navigates a crowded pocket, and his clock runs out. Dimitri Johnson covers up a sack.
And all credit goes to the New Mexico pass rush on that one. You see right there in the backfield, number 17, Okiki Olurufunmi, getting up there, getting in the quarterback's face, because he had Cade Harris open. They had a two-man route concept on the right side. A clear out for 21 where he was going towards the sideline with no defender around, but the quarterback's got a big, long body right in his face at the point of attack.
Let's go down to the sideline and check in with Bridget.
Yeah, thanks, guys. When head coach Bronco Mendenhall came to New Mexico, he brought with him 14 guiding principles, and they aren't just football related, they're life related. He wants his players to win off the field just as much as he wants them to win on the field. They all fall under the belief of family first, last, and always. So I'll run through them with you here. As you can see on the screen, everybody is somebody, earn not given, will before skill, hard things together, ADE, which stands for accountability, discipline, and effort. 2 ways, the power of choice, less drama, more work. 400%, greater than, not equal to. Champions do extra. It plays to be a winner and make it a masterpiece. But this whole program has really bought into those principles, and you're seeing it pay off.
Thank you, Bridget. Like New Mexico's version of a pyramid of success of sorts.
Every building you go into around college football, you got a lot of signs up. Got a lot of mottos, got a lot of sayings, but it's just like a play call, teaching your team a language in a way you want to define your daily habits.
Johnson hits his back foot, and another drop. what I appreciate about the way that Bronco presented them to us is, one, how sincerely held all those beliefs are, and two, how much of a coaching and career progression they've been in assembling them together. This wasn't like I walk in on day one and the head coach and these are my 14 principles. This is time on task and the things that he thinks are the secret ingredients to do what he did at his previous stop.
He said, I didn't have all these at BYU. They've grown over the years, and he said every decision we make is guided by a principle, and that principle is tied back to a belief. If you know why, and players nowadays, players my generation and beyond, they always need a why. You're not just going to blindly follow anymore. Guys want to know what the end goal of this is, and Broncos got that in mind for everything they do.
Here comes the blitz on 4th down. Top shelf throw. Caught! Touchdown! Quinn Smith. 39 yards from Josh Johnson. The sophomore from New Orleans gets his first touchdown toss with 2:18 remaining.
Something about being the quarterback coming in as the second guy for Air Force the last couple of weeks. We mentioned Quentin Hayes came in relief of John Boucher last week and gave him the first passing touchdown of the season. And now we've seen Josh Johnson under duress going back up at another great contested catch there by Quinn Smith. See a great route, gives a little head fake to the defender, and then comes back and just physical at the catch point.
Offense still on the field to go for 2. Johnson at the controls. On the waggle. Back of the end zone. No flags down. The 2-point try fails as he was looking for Smith again.
We talked about on the other side the connection that's developed between Dampier and Luke Wysong. We're seeing a little connection develop right now between Josh Johnson and Quinn Smith in this passing game.
Like, let me ask something. Is this something or nothing from New Mexico's standpoint, where you had a comfortable lead in your most recent win, got a little narrow late, you end up winning 50-40? I go back to the opener, where this would be much more right now than a soon-to-be 2-4 team if they were able to close out a very good Montana State program from up 17-0. Is this little comeback just Air Force continuing to execute, or is this signs of an issue that still hasn't been solved for Mendenhall?
Oh, yeah, you see frustrated Bronco Mendenhall on the sideline because this is learning how to finish in games. When we talked to Nick Howell, the defensive coordinator, he mentioned, hey, it's one thing to be on your P's and Q's and attack with your principles and read your keys in the first quarter of the game, but it's another to be able to hold that for the entirety of the game. And
this was week 0 against Montana State. They led 31-14 at the end of 3, but a 93-yard touchdown cut it to a field goal. And then Montana State, 11 plays, 89 yards with 10 seconds left to complete that comeback. We'll see come bowl make it or break it time whether that will end up costing them. I still think this is a team that's about as dangerous as any 2-4 program right now that I can spot in the landscape. Third onside kick is covered by the Lobos.
You're also going up against a very unique opponent. And again, I played 5 years at Notre Dame. We would play the service academies every year. And it's such a rare game in so many ways. It was the only time at home that the opposing team got a louder cheer coming out of the tunnel that we did. We would go and we would stand behind them for their alma mater and vice versa for us. There's such a respect because you understand that football is the side activity for these guys. They're going out and get ready to serve our country in a multitude of ways. But with that focus, the way that these guys attack their work at the academies is so different. So you're never going to get them to lay down and roll over at the end of games.
Mayava Peters will take this snap after Dampier motioned out to be a receiver. One other bit of context on that onside kick recovery. That was Isaiah Chavez, the backup quarterback who covered it. So in case you're wondering, like, will he close this game out? Well, maybe not at quarterback, but recovering the onside kick.
Hey, listen, you know what? It's always a badge of honor to make the hands game. Like the guys, when you've got Friday practice and you're going through and they call it the hands team, they all come out with a little extra swagger because they've been deemed better than the rest of us. And New Mexico has been the better for most of the night, but Air Force not going out quietly here as we get ready for the finish in New Mexico next.
Me and Daddy met when we were teenagers. We were both working here and it was right there in that kitchen where Mommy and Daddy fell in love. So if they're bringing back the original recipe, then you know it's going to be good.
Our original recipe is back. Churches.
You never want to lose your edge.
and the Lexus RX completely understands that.
Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary in the lot recently?
You have no idea what you're getting yourself into here.
This is not a disease you can catch.
Let me in.
Salem's Lot, streaming exclusively on Max.
The wait is over. It is now official.
I am so excited. I am so happy.
Pochettino is the biggest coach they've ever hired.
To kick it up a notch, like we want to play good football, exciting football. We need to believe we can win.
Power is not given. It's taken. Step up and call your shot.
Power-packed postseason baseball.
Show me what it feels like.
Runners on the corner for Judge. That may go over Cedar Avenue. Another steal by Leonard. A poster finish by Kawhi. Wow!
Schofield does it, your new NCAA champion.
Here's Palmer with the toughest dive in the competition. That should seal it. Wyoming from the 9-yard line. Allen keeps it himself. Touchdown, Cowboys! All right, let's get a salsa tonight on our college football postgame. Been a great tradition here. First year of TNT Sports and the Mountain West. Who will salsa? Any nominees?
I mean, I bet Devin Dampier has a great salsa. The way we see him move around and scramble, those hips don't lie.
Eli Sanders burrowing down to the 35. A little bit of history, a little bit of context here. The 37 points tonight for Air Force, more than their combined total in their other 4 FBS games. So it'll be another loss, but it's a step in the right direction. On the other side, the 52 for UNM, most points in a league game since 2017 when they scored 56 against Air Force. That was their last win head-to-head against the Falcons. They'll snap that 5-game losing streak tonight.
Talk about setting a home field expectation for the fans around here and get people excited again. My father is a former defensive tackle both in college and the NFL. Guy who loves seeing defense. But we know offense puts butts in seats. And so to be able to sell a quarterback as exciting as Devin Dampier to your fan base, to see 50 points getting put up at home, now all of a sudden you start to create the buzz around your program locally here so that once the Hot Air Balloon Festival leaves town, you can get all those people to come over here and watch some great football.
By the way, that 70-acre launch field, did you know that that's the size of 54 football fields put together to get those 500 balloons or more in the air?
We saw it getting lit out there last night. They were lighting up those balloons. It looked like Balloonchella for a little bit.
Final 155 from Albuquerque, from under center. Bursting through that left side. Rogers has been a nice addition to this backfield. How about a few more thoughts on Dampier? Because last time out, it was that prolific rushing performance, right? But maybe what went underreported was no interceptions after he had thrown 2 picks in each of the prior 3 games. This is another clean performance for him, and because he's been so prolific, maybe we don't pay enough attention to the fact that he's still so green and learning with every start on the job.
You talked about, and we asked Jason Beck about this, wanting to coach some of that maverick out of him to take away the turnovers, but not too much, because, and Dan Orlovsky, my old buddy and colleague over at ESPN, as they get in victory formation right now, always talked about you don't want to take away a quarterback's stinger. And right now, this guy's got that stinger working and active. And so you just try and fine-tune some of the little things around the edges, but make sure he stays aggressive as a playmaker. Because you see, whether it's on the air, through the air or on the ground, he makes this whole thing go with that ability in the backfield.
Now, sometimes it's the week after playing a program like Air Force. You mentioned the hangover. We'll really know how much progress the Lobos have made. But at least on offense, back-to-back 50-plus performances, one in a rivalry game, one in a conference game. Mendenhall and company might be ahead of schedule.
I think there's some really exciting things ahead for these guys as they get in the meat of the conference schedule. You mentioned before not having to play UNLV, Boise State on the schedule this year near the top of that conference. as the build is on in Albuquerque, and Bronco Mendenhall gets a little bit more of that external validation for the guys in that locker room.
It was fun this week to hear these two veteran coaches with so much history in this league talk about their mutual admiration and how many different forms their head-to-head rivalry has taken over the years.
It's amazing. This sport is so defined by change. We see all the time, whether it's at the school level, the player level, to see two guys that have been constants in such steady hands for so long. It's rare, and it's something you kind of stop and appreciate, marvel at a little bit in the modern age.
I think college football could stand to use a whole lot more of Troy Calhoun and Bronco Mendenhall.
And they may get it at this point. We know Troy Calhoun's not going anywhere. He's been at the helm of that program for a long time, and Bronco Mendenhall seems committed to really trying to make this place, once again, somewhere where people can look and see quality week in and week out.
First home victory of his era, first conference win for the Lobos, and they snapped their 5-game losing streak head-to-head against Air Force to improve to 2-4, 1-1 in conference. Next at Utah State, you can see it right here on True TV and Max. Dampier's final numbers, 15 of 20 through the air, 179 passing and a touchdown. He also did it on the ground with 50 rushing yards and 2 scores.
And you see right now, this is the cool part about these games, is the understanding of everyone involved, what's bigger than happened on this football field as Air Force goes over to their band on the road to play their alma mater, and the entirety of the New Mexico team going over to join those guys in a show of thanks for what these young